No, Mike. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wareham Planning Board meeting of Monday, July 13, 2026. The time is 6 p.m. And we are meeting in the Multi-Service Center, room 520 at 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571. We are also available online and through Zoom. The link for both of which are available at the town website in the planning board tab and under the agenda. So we'll start the meeting by taking a roll call.
Well, do you want to, okay, at some point you should let everybody know there's an amended agenda in case the audience.
Yes, I will note
Okay,
that.
all right, so Mike Baptiste here. Oh, wait, I'm not Mike Baptiste. He's normally the one on the left. Carl Schultz here.
Julie Moran here.
Sam Corbett here.
And Mike, has anybody talked to Mike? No, just kidding. Just so everybody knows, this will be the first meeting that we have without Mike Baptiste
In what, 36 years?
36 years. So we will be missing him enormously. Anyway, and Jane Gleason here. And for general information, the agenda is printed on the town website, and there is, please everybody note that there is an amended agenda that has one more item on it than the original agenda. And it is not a public hearing, it is a discussion under preliminary business. So just so everybody knows that that's on there. So we'll get started. We've got 4 sets of meeting notes listed on the agenda, and we have received 3 of those. We have the minutes from May 11, May 18, and June 8.
Point of order, Madam Chair, through you to the town. Are we finally paying the minute taker? What was the problem?
Just get behind. But
Okay.
we're on track now.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't know if anybody has any issues with the
So which one don't we have, the 22nd?
22nd.
the 22nd. We do not have.
I move that we accept the minutes of 5/11/26, 5/18/26, and 6/8/26 as submitted.
Well, that was my question, whether we want it, if anybody has any issues with any of them, we can take them separately. If not, we can take them as
Okay,
a bundle.
well, I made a motion, so.
Second.
Yeah,
I'm SOL.
No, do you have, but now we can have discussion. Now,
Okay, discuss, please.
yes, I don't have any problem with
I
it.
Have no
I
problem.
read them, didn't have any.
I don't have any problem, and I've read through them all
Okay.
as well. So we can vote on them as a bundle. Do we have a second? Do you have a
Yes, Sam second. So
So-
Carl Schultz, motion, Sam second.
Okay, so we can take a vote,
Aye.
Julie Moran, aye.
Aye.
and Jane Gleason, aye. So those 3 are approved or accepted. Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm not sure, given that Mr. Warren and Mr. Madden are here, we could take them out of order, because a lot of these,
Yes, we could.
unless there's
No one else here, so.
there's no other,
people
another
online?
reason for not taking it.
Carl, we do have some people online. I don't know if anybody's here for this, for Taco Bell.
I think the only person I was expecting was Phil, and we had a discussion whether he was coming in or going to be via Zoom, and I don't see him either place.
Okay.
So I think it'd be appropriate to, table Taco Bell until Phil arrives.
Okay, all right, so we can jump ahead to item 3, which is 59 Main Street. And it was I don't have the wording because I printed out the wrong agenda. Discussion on 59 Main Street potential improvements. And we have 2 representatives here for that project.
No.
this handout is just a smaller version of the board, so.
Thanks, Phil.
Danny? Thank you, sir.
Bill?
They stick together. It's like new dollar bills.
No, I wouldn't know about that. Mine are all over.
Thank you.
These are some illustrations of, in order, the way Bill's going to be talking about the things we're going to ask for.
That's, I gave them these.
Oh, they have all that?
Yeah, they're all the same. They're the same
Oh,
ones.
they're all in there?
But, yeah, not the
For them-
images.
Yeah, if they want to see the images, I have them here.
Okay.
Do we have any of those? Is it possible to put them up on the screen? If we don't, then we can't, but,
You didn't email it to me, did you?
I did not.
okay, all right,
All right. That would be useful, perhaps, not, you know, for later, so I can look
for
at them
future
later.
reference.
Well, they'll be coming back.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, Bill Madden from GAF Engineering on 59 Main Street. Mr. Warren,
Swear me.
the owner of 59 Main Street, is also here.
I don't know.
And I need to swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. These are just are the collection of the smaller changes that we'd like to have take place at 59 Main Street site. They were all developed initially from hearings with the Historic Commission, because Bob DeRocha was the structural engineer, the architect of the building. He was really the point person going through Historic Commission. He's the one who prepared most of the design drawings for the buildings and the structures that are on the site. And as you know, we did the site plans and what have you, and then Rob had an unfortunate situation. I think his father passed away, and so I was filling in at the end of the Historic Commission meeting and did the best I could to get up to speed with the things that Rob was proposing. I understood everything, but I might just be a little bit lacking on the details that went into all those things. Danny will know more about those than I do. But each one of these shaded features that's on that 8.5 by 11 are the things that are looking to be done down at the site. And what we did, the big difference between the plan that Danny had, his are colored and color keyed. I numbered them
Yeah.
on ours, and I tried to put them in the order of desire. I mean, if some things could get approved with, as a minor improvement and didn't require an action by the board or a public hearing, that would be great, but
Go ahead, finish. and then
that's why we put it together. That's why we numbered them, because we tried to put them in order that were of order of importance for the site and for the operator.
Madam Chair, through you, either to Josh or the applicant, just to set the context for me, we're going to go through this. This is just a discussion. But as I remembered it, Mr. Warren presented a plan for the entire physical space, and we ended up agreeing, and we divided it into two parts. And if we look at this drawing, and I'm speaking, this was years ago, and I didn't know you were coming tonight, so I'm not fully prepared. But we approved everything on the right as part of the plan that we approved, and everything on the and the pavilion was part of that. I'm specifically looking at your item. I don't know what 8 is, but 9. I thought the condiment station and the stuff on that was really a separate and we specifically excluded it. So we don't have to answer that today, but as we move forward, we should refresh everybody's memory on how the approval proceeded. That was for context.
Yeah, and I think you're accurate.
Okay.
With that, that's, the Connex box that we have down there it was a different building, it was much larger, it was, I think it was over here.
Yeah.
Longer and what have you. I have the plans, I think I have the plans in the folder if we wanted to look at them, but
We don't have
We
to,
don't need to.
so for context, I just want to know,
yes.
because you're asking, is this going to be major or minor? Eventually, you're asking that. And I think those original decisions would flow into this, perhaps.
Okay,
Just a question.
fair enough.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so the first two items, we have item 1 and item number 2, are the putting an enclosure or a roof covering and siding on the entranceway into the building. One side
Where
has
we normally
stairs,
go up and turn left into the restaurant, yeah.
one has stairs, and the other one's the handicap accessible ramp. And what the desire is to improve public safety a little bit and have a more suitable means for the ADA access to the building by putting a metal roof over that area and siding on the side. And Historic was interested in what that would look like from the street, and that's what Danny
Hang on.
had Rob put together. Or actually, Dan
My son did it.
put those together to show how it would physically look.
So it looks, I don't even see, I mean, that's sort of what it looks like now, right?
No, it's the
Where you see the
the
windows coming
stepped
downstairs.
enclosure, it's this
Oh,
whole
okay.
thing.
Oh, because
And-
normally I'd see the wall that's behind
building.
that.
So
and
that's
so-
the stairs, what about the ramp?
The ramp.
The ramp is the next
Yeah, it's the
image.
next page.
Okay, so it's a roof over, but no enclosure around
It's gonna
it.
have
Okay.
snow, it's gonna have snow curtains that can
Okay.
run down in storms and keep it off, but not be there all the time, because it would look really awkward.
Yeah, well, and it would enclose those windows as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, as I remember the building, it's red, and that new structure doesn't really change the look,
Okay.
Right.
does it?
Not really, no, we don't think so.
That was my reaction when I looked at it, yeah, okay.
Historic actually liked it
Yeah,
way
with the
better.
roof. So this
They
roof,
thought it looked
and this
more
would be
than what it would have looked
enclosed.
back then, because they wouldn't have left it out
Doesn't
open.
exist right now. so
Yeah, I
this
know.
is-
Yes.
This would be enclosed,
right,
and then this is open. but
Yes,
there's a set of
but there's-
curtains that come down
Yeah.
as like a wing.
And the
Yeah,
roof
is that
adds
what he just said?
a
Yeah,
feature
right.
to the site that is
Yeah.
relatively attractive. And the total, we're talking about 160 square feet of roof on the small, on number 1, and number 2 is about 410. So it's relatively minor. There's already a footprint on the ground. We're not adding any impervious to the site. Everything.
That was gonna be my question, not gonna change stormwater flow or
No,
anything,
should not change
They're
anything.
both already impervious.
other than the fact that the slope is gonna send it out onto the driveway, right?
No, no, we've got it tied into the gutters.
Oh, okay, all right, so it's not gonna
It's not
shoot
going to
it.
cascade out into the walking path or finding its way, and the grade slopes down to the
Right.
north, so I don't think we would really want to, we didn't want to add any water that could be prone to freezing, so.
Right, yeah,
it's
yeah,
Tied
yeah.
into the downspouts. So, that's really, those are the first two priorities. We'd like to get those on the building before the winter sets in. So we thought that it might be considered a minor change where the building itself and the access to the building is constructed, and the minor change would allow, I think Josh could make the minor change, but the desire was to talk with the whole group,
Great.
just to
Are there
be on the right side of it.
are there any building code issues? I don't know.
Is that something that they should be here for?
1 and 2 probably not.
Right. I mean, that's
The
a building permit and they're done.
Well, no, but it's a change to the plan.
Change to
A
the plan.
determination of major, minor is appropriate to
yeah.
be made.
Right. So I guess my bigger question, so you're here on 1 and 2, you said order of priority. Are you looking for us to just look at 1 and 2 now, or are we looking at the whole thing, and then it becomes minor versus 9 changes?
10
Like,
things,
do you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we wanted to show you everything everything that we've presented to the historic.
Okay,
Because historic has approved everything that's on this plan, but,
okay,
you know, we know they're approving things for a different reason than
Yes, right.
what the planning board would be approving them for. So that's the major reason we put them all together
Mm-hmm.
on the plan. We'd like to be able to, you know, whatever can be done, we'd like to do
Yeah.
as a minor change. And if something was going to be considered a major change, it was going to involve a public hearing, you know, I think that we'd either go through that process or rethink where we stand on things right now. But
That's correct.
Right,
We
so-
can revisit it another day.
That makes sense. So my only question would be about the thing on the left side. The decision we made, how many years ago now? Several.
Yeah, that big building's never going to be there.
Yeah,
The little gazebo.
but the question is, what was the wording of that decision and how does that impact this? That's my only question, and I don't know the answer.
I don't have the answer to that. I have the decision, but I don't have the answer, because I think we also went through a revision to the site plan at one point in time that added some other things to it.
Yeah, so we just need to pull forward that and see if it impacts
Yeah.
Yeah.
that decision. On the right side, I think we're safe.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. So that's what our thoughts were on 1 and 2. On number 3, that's an area downstairs underneath the deck, and that was to be, well, it's shown as like an oyster bar now, or shellfish bar, seafood bar. Underneath the deck, confined by the stone wall in the front, a small stone wall across the face of the north side of the building.
okay, oh, down below, got it,
Yeah.
got it.
What's there now?
Well, it was always designed to be an oyster bar, but no one's open on the sides because we stopped until we got. Unclear for whether it could be or not.
You gotta talk into the mic.
We held back on it until we got a definite decision of whether it could happen or not. So what I did was I went straight to FEMA, and I got a written thing back from FEMA saying absolutely suitable for that use.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it'll look really good. And that's on the outside, and this is what it'll look like on the
So
inside.
FEMA, do we have a Concom issue? Do we have to go through conservation on this?
I don't happen to have a copy of it. I
Yeah.
suppose if it's
Okay, thank you
available,
for
when,
that. Okay.
you know, we should provide it to you.
I'm sure they're gonna want us to see it and talk
Yeah.
about it.
And when you use the word bar, it's seafood bar or,
There's gonna be an oyster bar, there's gonna be beer, and there's gonna be wine. but
so that you have to deal with other people about liquor license and stuff, yeah.
everybody about that stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, so we can't approve liquor stuff.
right. Okay, thank you.
And it's a relatively small space. It's like 325 square feet, not terribly large.
What happens down there now? I know you didn't build it, so it's just sort of,
Right now, it's just basically storage.
Storage.
And it's wasted space, basically.
yeah, I mean, I walk by it every time I come in, but I've never,
And it drives me crazy, because every time it comes, there's more junk in it.
yeah,
That I gotta take someplace. But anyway,
okay.
And so would that have seating?
yeah, there will be seating. And it actually shows the illustration exactly what it would look like.
Okay, so what does that do to the parking
Parking, yeah, that
calculation?
was my question.
Well, what it does to the parking is, unfortunately, you don't have, well, actually, fortunately, you don't have everybody in every place all the time. So
Yeah, but that's not the way
Yeah, it
the
doesn't.
parking calculation is done, right? It's on capacity. Just, these are questions. That's why we're having a discussion. I don't
Yep.
know the answer.
No, nor do I. Yep.
That's a good question.
Well, I think it's six per vehicle in this zoning district,
Yeah.
if we were looking at the parking, but I know there's been discussion about using the Shell parking lot that's further down on Main Street, further to the north on the left-hand side.
Great, it's just a question, that's,
No, and I'm just reciting some different things that have been explained to us on parking, and, you know, I know what the bylaw says relative to parking, and, you know, there's some that agree with it, some that disagree, obviously.
right. Well, that's a Mr. Turner question, or his
Successor.
Yes.
successor.
Right.
I think it comes down to a question of, why don't I get treated like everybody else in the village district?
That,
That's the question.
that,
I would have never built it otherwise.
so, so I think the answer is regardless of whether we think it's minor or major and you add seating, that will have that is a cascading consequence that,
Yeah, it may end up being one, right.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
we're discussing, that's all.
We understand that, yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to do.
Then areas 4 and 5, that's an extension of the existing deck,
Yeah.
the upper deck. We call it an upper deck and a lower deck because we have to, if we wanted to make use of the grassed area, this grassed area back here behind the building, we'd have to access this deck from the existing deck and then actually go down a few risers and treads down to a lower deck, and then to gain access to this green space for other similar type uses that are occurring on the site. So it makes a little more
Flow.
continuity is improved for the entire site.
Seating question again, would that be permanent seating or?
No, that'd be for like small weddings and things like that. We've had a few back there already, but it's awkward to get to it. But that's the focus for it, is to keep it pretty much the way it is now, but there's been 5 weddings back there.
Did we resolve the whole venue issue?
It resolved the venue issue.
This was originally approved, as a restaurant?
No, and I just gotta say it. It's in every document from the very first news release. The perfect plan for the perfect place by the perfect guy.
Wait, I'm talking about what was official, not the marketing stuff.
But that all got changed downstairs with Paul Turner. And
I just asked, is it resolved? That's all. I understand what your intention was. I remember that.
not my intention, what the town agreed to. I would have never spent $9 million there if I thought it was.
Mr. Warren, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm trying to understand where we are today. I'm really not. I understood that it was an issue. I understand it was in the office down there. I want to.
Issue. There shouldn't be any issue with anybody else in this town that sat in those meetings and read the newspaper and saw the reports and come and talk to me when it was a briar patch and heard in detail what was going to happen there.
I'm only talking
And the
about
first
what.
thing, non-restaurant, cost the town $5 million a year.
Mr. Warren, thank you. We're not discussing anymore. So I asked the question. It was purely an honest question. I'm not challenging or attacking.
And I don't know if everything is resolved in his mind. You know, in my mind, I think that everything should be easily resolved, but.
Well, I went and read the use, and
Yeah.
the use is not what Mr. Warren is saying for whatever.
It was not what was always presented to the town from day one.
This is going in a circle. I'm not.
I know, we have to stop this.
I'll just
We'll be here another 3 years.
I ain't gonna talk no more.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to understand where we are.
I feel like I got hurt bad by the town. And I believed and I trusted this town, and I give it $9 million of my family's cash. It's no bank, it's me. I really regret it. Unbelievable for doing it, because I got suckered.
I just want to make sure that we can move forward.
Perfect plan by the perfect man for the perfect town. And that guy destroyed it. National Grid wanted that for a training center. 60,000 a week for the next 5 years.
Okay, I understand 4 and 5. Can we move on to 6?
Yeah, can we move on to 6? Yeah.
So in any event, just to terminate this whole element of the Paul Turner element on the project, I just think we need to work through that. I suppose the planning board needs to do what they need to do, and he needs to do what he needs to do.
And we just need to
And he's
understand.
leaving soon.
Work
Through it all from there.
It really should be independent of a person. It really
I
should.
agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's what point I'm trying to make. Let's move forward. He's leaving. What is the past is the past. We're trying to make an improvement on the future.
Right.
And let's look at it that way.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, we need to know where we're starting from. And
Yeah.
that was my question.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, for the official record, your original approval says a 6,500 square foot restaurant with a 25 by 65 foot deck and an open pavilion. And it has 1,200 square feet of commercial retail space. That's what your decision says.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why
And it says restaurant. It
Restaurant.
doesn't-
That's right,
right.
yeah, yeah, okay.
And the 1,200 feet of commercial space was the other building that we were
Right.
just talking about in lieu of the.
So all I'm saying is to move forward with your plan, that's an issue that needs to get addressed. And there are mechanisms for addressing that, I think.
Yep.
It's a change in use, and that's doable. There are mechanisms to do that.
So where does the change of use come?
That
It said
become-
that it was a
that-
restaurant and commercial
It's a
space.
request that can be made.
Yes, and it would then be a modification to the
To the
site plan
approval.
special permit.
Yeah.
I'm not
Supplement to
understanding
it.
where the change of use is, though. It says restaurant
Look
and
at
commercial
the
space.
definitions in the bylaws. Restaurant is different use
Then,
than a venue.
It should have been a pizza place. Not what
Mr. Warren, we're trying to help move this
I know,
forward.
I'm sorry.
I-
I'm so fed
Please,
up with
as you know, you've worked with me for years. I follow the process, and I'm trying not to make it a barrier, which is why I'm trying to bring it up early,
yeah.
and so that we can move forward. I'm not,
And
I love your restaurant. I go there all the time. I'm not trying to be difficult.
And I know you do, and I appreciate that very much. But, well, I'm not going to say anymore. I've already said everything I can say.
Yeah, but I think there's a method to solve your problem.
Good.
Okay.
6
So
and
item
7.
Number 6.
Item 6 is is the area where outdoor music can be played. It's like a bandstand, let's call it. It's a wood frame bandstand at grade outside. And it's right in front of, well, not quite in front of the oyster bar, but it's in front of the enclosed area
Yeah.
that's below.
Bottom of the
So that
stairs.
it tucks in
Is this
underneath
permanent?
the landing.
I'll take it.
Thanks.
It
does-
tucks in
yes,
underneath the
it's
landing of the
permanent.
It
stairs.
doesn't really tuck in, the back part of it.
The back part of it
yes.
does, right, yeah.
And this shape, the figures, this shape right here, we actually went out and measured it, so that's the shape that exists there. It's a little different than what was on that diagram, or the drawing that the illustration you're looking at.
This is the band shell, is that what we're looking at now?
And these, Bill, these have not been uploaded, the pictures, the renditions of these renderings?
We have not, I'm not sure if they have been or not, but we can get it done for you.
Okay.
So this
That'd be good.
increases impervious ground cover a little bit.
It's not a permanent structure. So I think if it's open slat and things can drain through it to the grass below it, that it would not qualify as an impervious surface. That's what the desire is, anyway, to have there.
Question, so, good.
But let's just be straight about it. It needs to be tightened up because a band sets up, it happened twice already this summer, and out of nowhere, here comes your thunderstorm. And then everybody's hustling, trying to get all that equipment out of the rain,
Right.
away from the rain. So it is designed to be a continual surface on the roof.
All right, so that's a question about what it does to the impervious ground cover, if anything.
Yeah, I think Bill was alluding to
The deck
the
itself.
decking being,
was, yeah.
having,
You're saying the decking is not permanent? You would just
Well, the
only
decking
put that
has-
down when you had a band?
Cover on it to keep the people out of the sun and out of the rain.
right, but the decking has,
Slats, yes.
Yeah, but the
right,
roof
there's
would-
space
the roof
between them
would-
so water can go
Oh, I
through
see what
that.
you're saying, yeah, and that also will
And
tie
it's
into the
open,
gutters.
open air except for the back wall, which is actually,
But
it's
the
lattice
roof
except
is
for one.
counted as impervious ground cover, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, something to think
But all
about.
So
the
something
rain
to
coming
think about.
onto it will go down the gutters into the regular drainage system I've got there.
All right, so,
And it's 250 feet, square feet is what the area is of that. So,
how many square feet was it?
250.
250.
250, okay.
But you were saying it's not permanent, but it is. Bill, you just
Yes,
mentioned.
I omitted, didn't think about the roof over the top of it.
Okay.
But it
yeah,
still freestands from the building, they're just snugged into each other.
Right. But the floor will stay. That will
You're
be
not gonna be
permanent.
taking it up
Yeah,
and moving it
I think
around.
now, I think it all stays now.
Yeah, it does.
Correct.
We're not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
take
not
any.
gonna
Okay,
go away.
yeah, okay.
That's a difficult part where I wasn't really working on that building plan portion, so I'm not up to
Yeah.
speed
Yeah,
on
sure.
all the elements of
Yeah.
construction that are being proposed.
Understood.
Okay.
But it does look like that the calculations were complete, and the proposed building coverage is 21.8, where we allow a maximum coverage of 30. And the proposed impervious surface is 66.8, where we allow 70%. So they're still falling underneath the,
So with,
We just
with
need all the
these-
calculations to prove
With
all
these
that.
additions?
with the additions.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
With all,
Those are on the plan.
all additions?
I can't read, my
Okay.
eyes are
Oh,
not
yeah.
that
Yep.
good.
Okay.
Okay,
That's helpful information. Okay.
got it.
So we wanted to point out that the lot coverage and the impervious coverage was within the,
Oh, that was our question, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
which is within the framework.
Yep. Okay.
And so that brings us to number 7, which is,
Dance floor.
Can I flip through these? I'm assuming it's in,
That's number 7.
the dance
is the
floor
dance
area.
Yeah, the dance floor is kind of a,
it's just a,
it's kind of a unique
Deck area.
idea. It's fake grass, it's got rubber nubs on the back. We've had 2 big dances on that thing and a bunch of gymnastic kids on it. And you put it out, you do your thing, you roll it up, goes right back in the garage, you don't mess up your sprinklers, you didn't destroy your lawn, and you can't see it's there when it's there. And it doesn't move, which is pretty cool.
So it's artificial turf, something similar to artificial turf.
yeah.
That's, each section is around 500 feet, 525, I think is what we had.
Is that even neat, is that part of the site plan special permit, or, I didn't even know what would cover that.
I think
Yeah, where it's
Mr.
temporary.
Madden and Mr. Warren's attempt was just to kind of give
Right,
you
no.
everything that they're
Everything.
doing.
Sure, sure.
But I would have to agree with you. I don't know how it would be regulated under our current
I know.
current
yeah.
bylaw. I don't
It's
think it
not a
would be.
structure.
Is that a variant, does it need a variant? It doesn't,
Like
it's,
putting out a beach blanket.
That's what it is,
I-
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a structure.
I do not foresee
Yeah.
a reason it should be
Yeah. no.
so I don't, yeah, I don't,
regulated in any way.
all right.
But
We'll think on it, but I don't think we have to do anything on that.
And when you-
Once again, we want to show you.
No,
The whole
but you said you
You wouldn't
wanted to
leave
discuss,
it-
so I'm,
It would only be used when you had a band.
It goes in the night of, the
Yeah,
day
right.
of, and
Then you
goes
just
back
roll
in the
it up.
building the night of, because you don't want to be all over your sprinkler heads.
Yeah.
And it just,
If it's over your sprinkler heads, you're not gonna wanna mess with your system, so you're gonna roll it up when the sprinklers
plus
are
there's,
going.
there will be real grass under it, right?
yeah, it's real
So
grass
if you
under
left it
Don't
out too
want-
long, you'd end
you'll
up with
destroy
2
it.
square dirt patches.
And the other thing is, exactly, you kill everything, but the way the sprinklers are, the sprinkler guy worked with us on coming up with that idea, and it lays out perfect, but it's got to get off them, so, and
Yeah.
you can actually lay it out in 15 minutes and take it back in the building in 15 minutes.
So those are the items that are, let's say, on the right half of the site, just for the lack of something better. It's not, they're, with the exception of the dance area and the bandstand area. Those are the only 2 things that aren't connected to the building. that
And actually, the bandstand kind of is.
somewhat is, yeah, yeah.
So really, pretty much all of it is, because the rest is just a glorified beach blanket.
So, in my humble opinion, these 7 items I would consider minor as a group. What's your thoughts on that?
So the two items, 3, 4, and 5, don't have roof over them. They're open air
Right.
decks.
Right, basically decks, yeah.
And there's 4 and 5, there's grass underneath those, is that?
4 or 5 of the decks.
Yes, right,
6
and
is the
they're
band.
raised above the ground plane. And I'm wondering, I guess, I'm wondering if there's
Flats.
any effect to the runoff calculations. And item 3 that's concrete already, no?
What's that?
Concrete
The,
already at
number 3,
item
the
3?
oyster bar,
That's
Yes,
pavers
just
slab.
basically
anyway.
the basement.
So 3
Right.
doesn't really,
No,
It's really the parking
yeah,
is the issue.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not,
there's a,
I know, not a minor.
there's the deck on the
Four and
deck
5
outside the restaurant. Underneath that deck is where the oyster bar is going to go. So what they've done, there's openings in the planking on the deck. So they've developed a collection system for the rain water so it doesn't fall onto your oyster bar.
well, and practically speaking, that's important, but I'm guessing that in terms of the runoff, it's not, because you've got roof over that, so it's been calculated already.
Right.
Into it.
Yeah,
It's
the
always had a
basement.
drain.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always had a drain system there.
So,
They're in the same drain system.
am I off base on that?
No,
No.
agreed.
So,
So what's the board's opinion on 1 through 7? I would consider them minor changes. I mean, a couple of them, I wouldn't think they need to be here for roll-up mats.
yeah, I think that they're building commissioner issues with, meeting code and all that.
And 4 and 5, there won't be seating out there, right?
That'll be over in the corner. I want 4 and 5 to do 2 things. That will give us the ability, hopefully, to put an elevator in that place. It just desperately needs it. So if it added anything, it might add 4 tables at the most, because it's more, you want a transition area to get down to the other side. So I don't see a lot of seating there. And if we did, we'd probably just spread the seating out that's on the deck already into that area more. Because it served its purpose, and that, like I say, it will leave space that a lift elevator could go in there.
so, in answer to Sam's question, through you, Madam Chair, to Josh, where does seating calculation impact on parking happen? At the planning board or in the inspectional
Building
services?
Inspection services.
So, the inspectional services does the determination of number of spots needed for the use,
Right.
right? The planning board, under your parking article, has the ability to waive some of the requirement of the parking schedule.
Right.
I think it's
15%.
15%.
Yeah.
But realistically, let's say Mr. Warren said, I'm going to add 4 tables for the oyster bar, and I'm going to put 4 tables on the expanded deck. It would really be, you guys wouldn't be approving an increase in the number of seats. You would just be recognizing that the seats are now relocated based on the current number of occupants that's already allowed.
And the oyster bar as well,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so nothing, so my understanding is if we were to deem this minor, which is what the proposal is, we're not ruling on or making comment on seating capacity or the relationship to parking. We're not commenting on that at all by making it a minor change.
Correct. Correct.
Question. Can I make a motion in that this is not a public hearing?
I
don't
wouldn't.
believe so.
No.
I don't believe so.
Eventually, not
You
tonight.
could, but the board would need to rectify it at their next hearing after it's been advertised.
Well, and I don't,
And I would
Thank you.
advise against it.
agreed,
I don't think,
agreed,
right.
yeah.
That was my concern.
And we have the public, so we.
Right.
it's not
So
time for
just
public
so
comment.
that it's, everything is done properly, if the seating numbers require the planning board to proffer a 15% reduction in the parking,
That would not be a minor change.
No, you would want to do that
we'd
under,
have, that would have to be a
modification.
major
Yeah,
modification
right.
in order for us to offer
have to have a
that
public hearing.
waiver.
Right.
Waive.
And
yeah.
if that waiver is needed, then we would have to do it as a major modification so that you had your i's dotted and your t's crossed.
Correct.
But
And that would, then that same thinking, because I was going to have the same question, if we were going to make this minor, we would not be commenting on use, change in use. We wouldn't be offering any opinion on that at all.
We'd be talking about the parking numbers and a potential waiver of
Yeah,
15%.
seating and parking.
Right,
yeah.
so we're not addressing, to change the use, that is another step in the
It goes
process.
without saying that would be a,
I just wanted to be clear that, that wouldn't be a sort of.
That wouldn't, right, a
Agreed.
trigger for us to be talking about all kinds of other things. I think that's what
Yeah.
that would be the subject of our discussion.
So if you hadn't said we hold weddings, I would have never even asked the question.
And if it came down, just speaking to parking, if it came down to parking, as opposed to going through a hearing process with the planning board, holding a public hearing, we may choose to go to the zoning board and ask for relief on that parking because we know that it's been granted in the village district on more than one occasion.
And that may be a better,
It might be a better option.
that might be the avenue that you choose.
yeah.
I just
So
wanted to make
that
sure
is
we
another
weren't
option.
sort of accidentally
No,
creating a ruling on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we agree with that, but I just wanted to say that if we have to
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
a
that
public
there are
hearing.
Yeah,
there are
for
other
sure.
options open to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yep. I think that's correct. So, I'm just curious, so what about 8, 9, and 10? Are we going to discuss those, or do you want to hold those aside, or what's up with those?
We might as well discuss them while
Sure.
we're here. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
I think if we start with number 8, that's the pavilion bar. That's just 150 square feet
Yeah.
of an area where they can set up an outside bar.
And your zoning data includes all 10
Yes.
in your, yes, so, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so my only question is how that relates to the original decision. That would be my only question.
On the bar with the, I don't
Number
think,
8.
8, 9, and 10 are all in that area that we discussed, and I don't remember where we left it. Because we made it clear, in order to move ahead with the restaurant, we said, okay, we're gonna stop discussing everything on that part of the property, and we agreed that that would come back as a modification.
And here we are.
And here we are, right?
Well, but this, they're asking, can we just grant it as a minor, and I'm not sure how we left it, if that's true to the spirit.
Yeah, 'cause
the original
What
was,
was there?
it was a 1,200
Much
foot.
big, yeah, much bigger.
Much bigger. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
150 square feet, and it's just to service.
Well, no, I'm adding all of them up, 8, 9, and 10. I don't know what 10 is. Bathrooms?
10's
10
160.
bathrooms.
It's under 1,000 square feet. Well, I mean, it's like, let's see, 250.
That's 160.
Yeah.
160 plus 150, and I don't know what the 2 Connex boxes for fish fry and ice cream are.
That's 590, that,
The 2 are 590?
So
Total, yes.
is that fish fry Connex box, Josh, consistent with the restaurant use? I don't think so. It's a question, Mr. Warren, I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'd have to give some more thought to it.
I think it's not, but it might be.
You can't, well, I'm not gonna say no more.
This is discussion phase.
I'm just listening, that's right.
Well, that's what, if I don't ask you these questions
I know.
and it comes up later on, then you think you're getting
Yeah, it's
celebrated.
not-
I'm not,
We're
We're not
helping
in
you
a
be
public
prepared.
hearing right now. This is just
Yeah.
discussion,
Just a
so,
discussion, I
yeah.
understand.
Well, and again, my question would be, it looks like 8 and 9 are stands, so you just walk up, so there's no seating from what
That's
I
what
could
they are.
tell.
yeah, the
Yeah.
seating is
Yeah.
in the pavilion and that already exists.
And it was set up so
And
people
it's
could.
outside.
set
Yeah,
up so
just
people
walk
could
up.
come in from Bessie Park.
Yeah.
We've had big discussions with Derek and the hospital about all new furniture for the park, turn the park into something nice and just what it is now.
Sure.
And that was the whole idea of it. And then with Perry's closing, it became a much better idea of it, and it's just a nice place to do it.
Yeah,
And I think when we did the site plan, we set the site plan up for a building that was going to be on the north end of the site.
Yeah.
So there's a sewer connection, a water connection, there's a grease trap that's already in the ground. So all the infrastructure has been put
Is
in
there.
place
Yeah.
for it, and even to pick up the two outdoor restrooms.
the restrooms.
That
yeah.
were,
Yeah, that was put into place for the real big building. That was all, we put that in when we put everything in.
Yeah.
So it's just sitting there,
And I
towering on
think
the ground
that
doing nothing.
the existing building, there's restrooms underneath, aren't there?
Oh, I got stopped by Paul.
Just upstairs?
I was told it was absolutely fine by by Guy Campina, by the new guy we have now, by the town of
Scott.
Falmouth, by Boston Water and Sewer, by the MWRA. They said it's totally legal, as long as you shut the thing off if there's a storm, and the sewer director has a key to shut it off if you're not in town to shut it off, so it can't backfeed. But Paul decided it wasn't, and everybody stood right in line and said, well, sorry, Mr. Warren, you lose again.
and that is the provision under FEMA for when you have plumbing fixtures within the
Within the
base
floodplain.
flood elevation or lower than, you have to have
Yeah.
the means to prevent
Yeah,
intrusion of seawater into the system.
Every
Yep.
building on Main Street.
yeah.
Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Schultz. I'm looking at the original decision that you guys issued. I don't have the benefit of the plans that, it just, the February 15th of 2022 plans. I don't have the benefit of looking at them now. I also don't have the benefit of, any modifications that you guys may have heard either. But just looking at the decision that was issued, I don't see any language within it that broke the sites up between, north and south,
Except
left
there
or
was
right.
nothing, the way we did that is there was nothing on that plan set to the left.
Okay,
Those, I believe, all got removed.
Well,
But
the
that's why I'm
pavilion was
asking
there.
the question.
Remember, ice cream stand at one point
Right.
Yeah,
was
but the
proposed.
pavilion was there.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
right, whatever, yeah, the pavilion was there.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I think all these buildings were removed from that plan set to allow us to move forward. But that's my memory, and that's why I'm asking the question.
The big buildings were
Not-
taken
not-
out for one reason only, parking. Once we realized that we weren't gonna be treated like we were told we were gonna be treated, we realized that there was no way we was dumping another $3 or $4 million in there.
Okay, I just,
There's a
I
couple
wasn't-
places in town I'd like to
I didn't
dump
know
it.
we were gonna talk about this. I didn't come as prepared as I normally would like to be.
That's fine.
You and I, yeah. Okay.
Bill, you don't have to find it now. We can just,
I was just thinking if I had it handy, I'd break it out, but I have a revised plan, I don't have the latest one.
So I guess on item 10, the only thing that I see is somewhat problematic in their placement, and maybe that is just schematic. But
Oh, you mean 10, the bathroom?
yeah,
That was picked with Derek and Dave Bernard and everybody, because I own that little bit of a turnaround area, so moving one parking space over for handicap, that give a place to put it without losing a bunch more parking. And that's exactly where the tie-in is for it. So that saved a lot of grief also.
That's all fine and good, but the thing I worry about is that the orientation of them has the front wall where the doors are sticking out beyond the side curb of the parking stalls.
Yeah, but
On either
that's just the
side.
way, that's the way it's drawn, it's not that wide.
Well, that was my question. Is it
Yeah.
diagrammatic and is it not gonna be that way? I mean,
No, it's
that,
gonna be, it can be shrunk. I made the deal with the historic, it's a swing, because we only need it big enough to get 4 stalls, 2 and 4, so it's gonna be 6 stalls, 4 ladies, 2 men's. And it can be very narrow, the grades are right, everything's right, so they won't swing out like that, because I was very careful of that, because that's gonna get
So
you in trouble.
This is a building, right? These are not those plastic,
No, this.
They're modular?
I tell you where they did it, they're modular. Dave did it in Middleborough, and he had them, if you went to buy one on wheels, it looks like hell. Anybody can look it up, 80 to 120,000. Dave had a guy in Middleborough build absolutely beautiful ones for 25,000 that you can pick up with a big Bobcat, set it on a trailer, disconnect, put them back down in the pit, put the manhole cover on, and go away. And they look good, and these are gonna look really, really good.
so my suggestion, if this diagram has any basis in reality, is to take the men's room and the women's room, turn both of them 90 degrees so that the doors open out onto the grass instead of out into the backup space
Or
of the
the
tracks.
doors could open into the building,
What's that?
or the doors could open into the bathroom.
Not for commercial.
Okay, all right, yeah.
They gotta open out. You gotta be able to just push your
Push
way
out.
out.
if the
Yeah,
fire,
agreed.
Well, in
fire.
either case, there's plenty of room there to make it happen.
Yeah, so if they opened onto the grass, just in terms of pedestrian safety, it would be better for
Yeah,
you and for
we
your
looked at that from end
patrons.
to end, but we're trying to not cut any of those trees down. We
Yeah.
just don't wanna do that.
Yeah,
And obviously, they'd be locked when you're not open, so they're obviously just available when you're open, not,
They're only open when we're open.
yeah.
And are they gonna we're gonna remove these in the off-season?
In the off-season, they're gonna go because they're wood and they're not anchored. So
So
the other
they-
stuff is well
So during the
anchored.
off-season, they wouldn't, this is
they
really
would not
just
be
for
on
this.
site.
I would say after Christmas, they'll be gone. and
so
go
if they're
spring.
not, this is a question, if they're not anchored, what happens if we get a flood event like?
That's what I'm saying.
They have to be
They-
moved,
they-
they'd be directed to have them moved
Prior to,
prior to. a
during
storm
the
event.
Oh,
forecasting
so
of a
if
storm
there was a
event.
warning that there's gonna be an event.
storm
you-
event.
You would have to.
Right, the others, I don't worry about them, because they're well anchored and they're very heavy. And like the big Connex, that's made to where if it comes, open up the door and let the water go through it, we don't care. It's all stainless steel, and it's tied down. But that building, it's made to where it can be picked up in very short order and gone.
And I assume FEMA requires that?
No, FEMA says, and I got to know those guys really well. FEMA says that as long as it can't float away and hurt somebody else's property, if you want to put something in a basement that's going to get flooded and you own it and it can't hurt somebody else, it's not our job to tell you you can't do that. Now, there's going to be somebody in town you guys might like to meet, and maybe she would do it. The woman that just retired is head of the Army Corps of Engineers for Interwater Riverways and Commerce. I've done tons of work for her, and they're coming up to visit us in October. I think Christine would come in here, and she was the boss, and all these questions. And that's why I went to FEMA on the Oyster Bar when I got told it wasn't going to happen. And her husband Chuck is still in the Corps, and he's at the top of the ladder. So they come back to me and said, this is totally legal. And her name is Christina Newt.
So I think this has been helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we can move forward, look forward to the hearing.
Well, if Josh determines that these are minor, he doesn't have, he just.
There's no hearing.
They won't be back before us, if they're minor. So
If you read the bylaw, he gets to make that determination.
The current bylaw.
So the parking would be the issue, and whether or not you need some waiver.
From
I
us
think
or
that-
going to
Or
ZBA?
ZBA.
And parking may be a non-issue, but that seems to be the crux
Yeah.
that needs to be determined, is
Plus
whether,
what we agreed on the left hand of the, there was a big debate about the left-hand side of the property. But that's,
And with the
Josh
park-
knows the questions now, he can
Yeah.
make,
And with the parking though, we're not gonna get an answer until a building permit application is filed, the denial permit first.
Right.
So we're not gonna know about that until we put something forth to the building department.
Right.
Then
So
they'll tell
all-
us what we have to do and.
right, that the
and all
process
three
just
of
moves
these,
normally.
all three of these on the left side are, to some extent, portable, yes?
Yes,
Right, yes.
yes.
So they're not, so they're actually, I would say that
I
they,
don't want to get into a debate about what we talked about at those sessions tonight.
well, I think that they qualify as personal property and not real estate. So I think that we don't really have a,
That's a determination I'm waiting for.
Yeah, and whether or not movable or not, they're considered structures. That,
Yeah.
I guess, would be the question.
right, and I think that
Josh.
that's actually a building commission
Yeah, right.
question. So whether that you end up coming back before us or before the ZBA to handle any of the issues that the building commissioner determines you have, or maybe you don't have any. So,
That's my point. I don't think there are any issues.
yeah. So, I guess I would say thank you for coming before us and letting us know what your plans are, but it sounds like you might not even need us. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate.
Am I, I'm kind of asking this group.
I'm not going to comment. I asked my questions,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
I
would,
think that the building commissioner will send them back to us if he needs to.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think that it is a change to the plan, so it is your determination, Josh, if this is a minor or major modification.
yeah, and I would agree, but I also like having the board's input when I can
Sure.
have it,
Yeah.
especially on a
Yeah.
project that has been in front of you
Yep.
So,
many
and
times before.
I
so
appreciate
22,
that you
it's been
came before
4
us.
years since, it's been a long time, so my memory's not that good.
Yeah, and I would agree with Carl if there was discussion about, the items 8, 9, and 10, and whether they were permitted or how they were permitted, whether it was, hey, we're gonna look at them, bring them back as a modification, or what have you. I'll do some more research into that to see where those lie.
Yeah,
And
But I
if I was gonna run through the numbers and say like, I agree with this, I agree with that, I really want the board's opinion, I would say 1, 2, 3, I see no issue with,
yeah,
right? They're already constructed over some type of surface,
yeah,
and really they're a benefit to public safety,
yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
4 and 5 would probably be the one I would have the most question about going to the board, as they're an increase in the coverage on the lot,
Yeah,
and they're substantial components of the building. They're almost the same size as the originally approved deck. If you guys are saying that you see no real issue with them, I could get on board for a minor modification on those. Number 6 is interesting, but if it's either being tied into the drainage that's already there, or if it's draining onto the lawn area that has been calculated, I don't see an issue with that. And then number 7, I don't even think deserves to be in front of you guys. But since
Yeah.
they were coming, I said,
Yeah,
get everything you have out on the
Yeah,
table.
that's right.
yeah, yep, which I appreciate hearing about it so that we can have this conversation and figure out that we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 and 5, I guess, the additions onto the deck, that will be permeable straight to the ground. That won't be cutting the water off. It'll still have a gutter tie-in, but when it rains, it's gonna go right through. We're not gonna try to protect anything under that.
And then 8, 9, and 10 are really temporary.
I want to do some more research on them.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So we'll wait to hear from you. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much.
We know we have to get started on 1 and 2, so that it's ready for the,
Yeah, if you're trying to get them ready
Winter,
for,
you know.
for winter
Yep,
conditions.
Sure.
yeah, exactly. So if we have a general sense of the way everybody's thinking, I appreciate that. I think it's a good, I think it's a great reply to our request.
Okay. So, thank you for bringing this to us.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll be standing by on the 8, 9, and 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now, is there something do we need to make a specific?
Hang on a second. How long are we standing by on the Connex box one?
Well, you're stuck on my deadline on that one.
What's that?
You're on my timeline for that one. I gotta do some more research into what was originally approved.
Okay.
It sounds like I could benefit from looking at some of the hearings that were had, just to really nail down what the discussion was. But I don't think there's any reason that I couldn't have some type of opinion back to you guys and the board by the end of the month. I think that's realistic.
Yeah, that's realistic, okay.
And do we need to formalize it, or just like a memo to you saying that we're looking for a minor mod or something for these items and include this plan
Well,
type of thing?
it's an application that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it an application?
Yeah, we have
Yeah, it
a,
is an
I don't remember
application
going
for
with-
mod.
An application for modification, then the determination is what kind of modification
Yep.
it
Right.
is.
Okay.
And you might
Back to the
benefit,
Connex box. Wasn't that approved if it was running east to west? The only thing I has to do is move it to north and south.
I don't know.
So that thing was built, that thing's already built.
I don't remember.
No.
I remember it was a discussion, I don't remember. But you might benefit, I don't know what the cost implications are, but separating the application into 2 parts, or wait 2 weeks for Josh to provide guidance. I'll go back and look at the history as well.
I think that was.
Just
I know
to
that was
satisfy
east to
me.
west.
No, but I think from the original plan, I think it was excluded from the original plan. It was approved in one direction, east and west, but I thought that I'd have to look. I mean,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
been
have
That's
a
why I'm
meeting
asking.
about
4
it.
years.
In order to help move the whole project forward, I thought I told you, I thought we just
yeah.
ignored the whole left hand of the project and to get it moving. But that's why we need to go back and refresh our members.
So Danny, this is yours. Danny, this is yours.
Oh.
Thank you.
I have a couple of these pages with the square footages. I didn't hand them out to you. I'll just give them to you now. I don't,
Or just send them, can you email them to Josh and he can
We
post
just
them?
upload them to the
that works better.
site.
Yeah,
That would be easier.
because the paper,
I'm with you on that 100%. No, that works the best, actually, emailing it. Okay, do you have any other questions for us, since we're here?
I think so.
All right. Well,
Get out.
I got one last question. How do I approach the boards to get that just restaurant thing changed? Because I won't live with that.
that's a use change. There's a,
Well, it's a change that I think we have overwhelming proof. It was never planned for that, and that got slipped into us, and we saw it when we got our occupancy permit.
It's a ZBA issue.
no, it's an issue for us, that changing use, I don't know where they're changing use.
Yeah, right. We'll have to determine where it should go, us or ZBA.
Because that could be a mod to the plan. It's a process. We just need to figure out.
Is it a legal process, or do we talk about it in here? How do we do it?
I just have to go back. It's a legal it's documented
Always.
So
process.
it's an application to the building department for a change of use. You're saying, hey, I am one thing, I want to do something else or in addition to.
Yeah.
Paul will look at it, review it for zoning. say, is the use you're looking to do allowed in the zoning district, yes or no? And then he would then look at, does your current parking meet the parking standards of both of the uses combined, which it likely does not. And then he would write you a denial letter saying you need to seek relief from likely the zoning board of appeals.
Yes, yeah.
If the discrepancy in parking was sub 15%, he could send you to the planning board. I don't see that as being the scenario.
Yeah, but it's a process,
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
open, and it's not back room, it's. And it makes it clear in your mind, so you know exactly.
Well, I thought my mind was pretty clear, because I built all this stuff, and I don't usually do that kind of money wasting. And it's at 137 Pine Street. I'm into it for 140,000. And so I want to know. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to be difficult, but I really got to figure out what the hell I'm doing with that property.
Well, it's a change in use, and I think you're right, there would be a lot of support for it. I don't know what all the other considerations
Well, the
are.
thing was, when I was supposed to get the Shell parking lot that we were promised for 4 solid years from that hospital, and then the night before they're supposed to give it to me, we're at our place drinking wine and eating oysters, and everybody's happy. And the next morning, I got an email at 7 o'clock from Alan Slavin saying the meeting is canceled. They're going to sign it later. That night, I got a phone call at 8 o'clock from Alan Slavin saying they gave it to the town for $1 instead of giving it to you with a $180,000 parking lot with lights, fences, and drainage. I have the contract with Lawrence Lynch ready to go to work because I was assured I had it. Then that went away, but don't worry, you get to park there, so you're still going to gain your seating, going to get everything. And after 30 days go by, Mr. Turner walks by with his smirk and says, I just realized you didn't get control of the parking lot. You know, well, you got to get some chairs out of that building. It's not made a profit sense. And
I
that has
understand
nothing
the
to do with you
history.
guys, but I think you need to understand that. And I think the town needs to understand that. We feel like we were really, really played for fools over there. And now Alan's telling me he'll be sorry till the day he dies. I wish I'd never got you involved. This is horrible. This is terrible.
Alan needs to step back.
And
from
I love
this.
Alan, but anyway, that's another story.
Okay.
So,
I don't want to rehash it. I want to move forward. I appreciate,
and try to figure it out.
that's all I keep saying.
We can work through it.
Yeah,
There are processes.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's just a matter of digging deep into the patience bucket and to get through it.
Patient or patience?
The patience bucket.
With a C.
No T,
Yeah,
yes,
no T
no,
for
it's
me.
with CE,
Yeah,
patience.
thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
You guys,
Thank you.
thank you, Josh.
Next item, let's back up to item 2, final sign off for 2424 Cranberry Highway, Taco Bell.
Bill
wait.
here.
I did get an email from Phil. He had to drop out last minute, but he felt confident with his letter that you guys could come to a consensus.
Madam Chair, through you to the Director of Planning, how, if we have not signed the final approval, did they get an occupancy permit and we're allowed to open?
They went in front of the zoning board and bonded out the remaining work, which was the vegetation. So the building commissioner has the ability to issue temporary COs.
Okay. Well, but none of that was presented to us tonight for making the decision.
Yeah.
So I didn't know they went to the ZBA and bonded out. I didn't know that Mr. Turner or whomsoever
Yep.
granted, and the Mr. Cordero's letter is pretty clear. We can't grant them
Yeah.
I'm not going to vote to
Yeah, he
close it out.
I would agree. I think he put it in front of you to say that there are 2 outstanding items, and
Significant items.
yeah, if the board so chooses, hey, tell the applicant to get these addressed and.
But
and
why
come
did they
back.
go to the ZBA when this is our plan and open
Yeah,
in front of
yeah,
us?
I'm curious about that.
I think it had, well, I know it had a lot to do with a lot of the vegetation work was within the setback that they were granted the variance for on
Okay.
Okay, so there was
e-
a, right, there was a
northerly
variance.
part
Yeah,
of
there
the
was,
property.
there was a variance, yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like where we were talking about, really it had a lot to do with the landscaping that was the subject of the variance.
The variance,
I
okay.
sent it to the zoning board to say,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
that
All right,
makes.
so they're satisfied with the
sense.
bond.
Actually, they issued the bond, they got a temporary CO, and now they have since completed the planting.
But they didn't complete this work, so how did they
This
get
is-
past
But
this?
this has not been completed, correct?
Well, so
Correct.
One and
they
two.
don't have a permanent CO.
Right.
But was, when they were granted the temporary CO, did anybody look at the plan and see that these were gaps?
I would have to say no.
So
as
that's
they
a
were
problem.
only
That's-
identified as at the final. Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the disconnect with, I
Well-
guess it's
well,
building inspectional services, right, Josh?
Is your
Number-
concern, your concern that a temporary CO was issued
Well-
when these are outstanding, or,
No,
okay?
no, that was, but I didn't know that that happened.
Right.
But second,
The as-built plan hadn't been approved.
so how could they grant the temporary CO because they didn't even consider that this work hadn't been done? They were focused only on the vegetation.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
so they
They
submitted an
shouldn't have
as-built
granted a
plan.
CO at all
that
without
wasn't
the
signed
site
off
plan
on.
work being done, or the temporary CO should have clearly noted
Yeah, that these were issues.
that
Yeah.
the site plan work was not done.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
CO
fair.
should not have been granted with the site plan work not done.
Yeah.
You don't grant temporary COs with site plan work not done without process.
Right. And arguably for number two with the stormwater basin not being stabilized, that's, grass that would probably be hydro seeded. I haven't driven through there. I don't know if it's been addressed since we've sent them Phil's letter.
July
right? 'Cause-
1st.
Right, they have the benefit of Phil's letter now as well. But at the time, this was the request for final sign off.
Yeah,
So I
this
sent
is-
Phil out to review the final sign off. And these
So
are the items,
Phil's-
so let's come back with.
But shouldn't the Director of Inspectional Services ask for that final sign-off before moving forward? This is a process question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would hesitate to call it the final sign off, right? I guess it would be more handled under, request for CO or temporary CO. Where then the identified missing items would be X, Y, Z vegetation. or
Because the
landscaping.
instant they're open, our ability to cause anything to happen is gone.
Yeah.
Once they're open on a certificate of occupancy, yes. If they're open on a temporary CO,
They're still on eggshells.
yeah, they're on the hook.
That's not what happened with the restaurant out on Cranberry Highway. They continued to operate without a CO.
Town tavern.
It's no longer Town Tavern,
Yeah, really?
Right.
12 knots.
changed hands.
Yeah, I think there are some.
Name,
I would.
What is it now? I didn't
12 knots.
Yeah.
even know that.
I just drove by it today.
Okay,
Saw
but
it.
Yeah,
this is a frustration I have, Josh.
No,
We spend
totally
a
fair.
lot of time trying to think through this. We take abuse unnecessarily, not abuse. I mean, he's very upset, but I feel like I was trying to help him move forward, and I felt attacked, and I'm getting over that.
Yeah.
He was just, but why bother?
Right. Yeah. Especially on something like this where you're giving them, or the benefit of 24 Cranberry Highway, you're giving them the benefit of opening early, right? You could say, put in your
Huh.
plantings, no
Yeah.
temporary CO, put in your plantings and we'll see you
But
when
we
you're-
didn't say
But
that,
I-
the
but I
zoning board
guess-
did.
You're right, but
It's, why does the process break down again and again? Which is, the first thing inspection looks for is signed off site plan, not
Apparently
there.
not, apparently not.
Yeah, I just, it's.
And Mr. Turner's rigorous, so I don't know, I can't
It's very
speak.
discouraging
yeah.
that there is not a process in place to make sure that every step has been covered and approved. Why bother? I think we all feel that way.
We're gonna talk about, we're gonna write a letter about water whiz. They're violating the understanding that we had about turning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Julie nearly got broadsided by somebody coming out of Waterways and
Taking a
turning,
right.
turning,
Turning it,
turning left.
right.
Turning
oh,
left.
trying to cut across the
Yeah,
median.
they did.
Across.
That's
Wow.
what they did, in front of two cars. We had a small child in the car, and yeah. And there was another car behind him
Doing the same
blocking
thing.
traffic to do the same thing. And I haven't looked, I have to go by, because I really want to see that the signs they said they would put
Right.
are there.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a number of them.
And there was supposed to be an attendant who, I couldn't see anyone there. And this was, kind of the latter part of the day with a lot of traffic.
Super busy with a lot
No,
of traffic.
the question keeps being begged.
Yeah, where's the breakdown? Got it.
Okay.
All right, so I think,
So for this final sign off,
I move
we're
that
not-
we don't
we're
sign this.
not, we're not ready,
Yeah.
we're not,
You want the items in Phil's letter addressed
Completed.
before them coming
Fine.
back?
Yeah,
Okay.
Or,
that's the process.
apparently there's a process for a temporary, they could bond it out, right? Like they
can't
did,
put, they can't bond it out and forever sit on that bond.
well, no, because
forevermore.
well, that's the
Done.
other thing, we know bonds
then-
around here just
They
evaporate.
certainly can't get a final C of O with these two
Right.
outstanding.
Right.
And I would say that by Phil's two comments, they're maybe easily addressable. You know, if it's
gotta
hydro
build a
seeding
swale.
and getting.
I don't know, that's the point. I-
Yeah.
Probably asphalted, now they have to build a swale, because it's not there. So,
Which is then gonna go back and maybe impact the landscaping.
that's right. And I would say, given this, I have
Yes,
no
so they need
interest
to-
in
they need
waiving
to address
either
it.
of these.
They
Yeah.
need to address it, and then their C of O will be considered
Yeah,
Well,
by
we
this
don't-
board.
exactly, Jim.
No, we don't consider the CO,
Well,
we just sign off
still,
the work is
the
Right.
The final
final
sign
site
off.
plan.
Right, sign off, which
Yeah.
is necessary
They
for the
want-
C of O.
And they have to make revisions to it if they really were going to do
So,
something.
I think anything that needs to come before this board, this needs to be handled, then come back to us, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
consider it then.
Said, I'll let them know.
Do we need a motion to that effect and a vote?
I move that we defer action on the request for sign-off
Yeah, I would.
Until
pending
these,
Yeah.
resolution of
Date
these
certain.
items.
Yeah, because the
move it.
process is
Second.
not complete.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
I would just make it to a date certain.
What do you mean?
Give a date that you want to. You're basically continuing it,
Right.
continuing the item. I would just give it a
Oh.
date.
Well,
There's a good
are we,
point.
are we continuing it, or are we saying we're done with this request?
Either way you want to go with it, it doesn't change anything that I
But
would
they
do.
technically can't, I'm not sure that even the temporary CO they were granted gives them authority to operate, because the temporary
Well,
CO.
without this, they
Well,
should
and-
not be issued a final
They
certificate of
shouldn't even have the
occupancy.
temporary, because.
Right, doesn't
Mr.
the temporary CO have a date certain on it that they've got to be done
But
by?
Yes.
the temporary
Is it
CO
30
didn't
days?
even address these items.
So,
He can.
He can change it?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I don't want
Make the
to,
outside
I
30
don't
days.
want to be in
Have you talked to Mr.
conflict
Turner
with
about
the
these
date
issues?
on the temporary C of O.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to not put a date certain on it from this board, that the date certain on it is at the end of that temporary CO. And that it's on them to come back to us and
Yeah.
Well, and fix this.
re-request.
So,
Yeah,
so from.
And with nobody from the applicant here to,
Yeah.
we're not waiving this,
To-
basically.
Yeah, from the departmental standpoint, for me to put them on another, let's say you deny their request tonight, I don't charge an application fee for this, there's no public hearing, there's no notifications, so
Yeah.
really it's just me putting words on the agenda.
yeah,
So if that's how you want to handle it,
Well,
just say
we
we're,
need to notify Mr. Turner or whoever the
that's right.
Director of Inspectional Services is, that any CO they get granted needs to
Cannot be issued until
be
these are
issued
addressed.
until
Until
any
this
final
is-
CO.
Because we have no final site plan approval.
right.
so then I think your motion should reflect that you want a memo to go to inspectional services to state, we would suggest not issuing another temporary CO until the items in Mr. Cadero's letter are addressed.
I might even say request, not suggest.
Yeah, request.
Request.
That the final site plan has not been approved. And accordingly,
Right.
we request
I'll
that
modify my-
no temporary or a final be issued until these are addressed.
So I move that we don't act on this request tonight. And further, that we request the planning office to notify, and you could do it however you
Yeah.
want to do it.
Notify.
The Director of Inspectional Services that the conditions of the site plan have not been met, and we don't feel any temporary CO extension should be granted without acknowledgement of this, and certainly no final.
Be issued until.
Be issued.
Well, and they have not been met, and we have declined to issue any waiver. And therefore, you have a final site plan that has not been approved.
Right,
So,
Understood?
that's my motion.
Okay.
yep,
Second.
my
Sam
amendment.
seconded.
Yes, all in favor.
Aye.
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 And chair votes aye, so 400.
Okay. All right, next.
Excuse me while I write.
Oh, next is the appointment.
Sorry about that. Item 4, discussion and vote on appointment recommendation for the open planning board member seat to the appointing authority.
So a little context for this one, you guys had already taken a vote to appoint someone when we had gone back to town hall, in our attempt to be, I don't know, an attempt to be
Expedient and efficient
expedient and efficient. It came to our attention that the vacancy of Mr. Baptista's seat was never posted. So in an attempt to just have a very clean record on your recommendation of appointment and how it fell with the posting of the vacant seat, we felt it appropriate for you to retake that. Understanding the board would have benefited from hearing from Mrs. Parr as well. She is on Zoom and is available to talk about her interest in the board if you would like.
Great, that would be good.
I
And
think
then
that
are
would be
we,
good.
is the plan still the unorthodox plan of holding it off while she finishes Concom work?
Well, that would be a decision that she would make. From what we can tell, there is no requirement that states that someone cannot be on 2 land use boards. But her effective date would be when she gets sworn in with the clerk.
I'm not going to support it, but then,
I will tell you at this time, you have one single application for a planning board seat.
okay,
And she is it.
all right. Well, let's hear.
Jessica Clark, please.
Hi,
Good evening. So as you
thanks for
know,
having me.
as you know, we're putting together our recommendation to the appointing authority and are aware of your interest in the position that is open or has just recently opened. And so we would love to hear from you, your interest in the board. And the second part of that question is about your membership on the Concom and how you see that maybe playing out if you were to be appointed to the planning board in terms of when you would come on.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I am shown here as Jessica Clark, but that's my previously married name, and so I'm actually Jessica Parr, and I'll change this. I am a an attorney here in town, focused on real estate matters, some transactional work, probate, land use. I work with all kinds of people involved in real estate development, investment. Real estate is, and property concepts is what I work on all day long, every day. I have lived here in Wareham for going on 9 years, and have been on conservation for, I'm not sure, maybe 4-ish years or so, and have enjoyed my time on conservation, getting to understand how how things work within that system, and being of service to the town where I possibly can be. So it was my understanding that there was need on the planning board for somebody to participate, and I'm available if that's something that the planning board is in need of or interested in. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So.
Oh, conservation.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. There are several matters pending before conservation that would, I think that I'd like to see through, just for the purposes of, if I'm not there, there may not be enough people for a vote because of the length and duration of those applications, that the membership wouldn't necessarily be able to have attended every single meeting in order to be able to vote on it in that way. So that was the thinking, regarding sort of a delayed start on planning.
And that would possibly create the same problem on this board. Josh, what's in the pipeline?
Your mic.
What's in the pipeline that she might miss in the planning board?
Well, that brings up a great topic of discussion because you guys actually don't have any current pending applications. So.
Well, and I would add to that, maybe Jessica can fill in a little bit before you even answer that. How long do you anticipate this big project being before conservation still, before the vote actually happens and it's finished up?
My guess is the end of August.
Okay, so so basically 3 of our meetings. And one of those 3, we might not even have, the second one in July, which we were going to discuss later in this meeting, that the second July meeting, we might not need to have because nothing has come in,
We had some,
no applications.
I thought we had an open issue from the last meeting that we continued to the 27th.
There wasn't anything continued in the calendar.
I'll go back and look at my notes. It's an open issue that we have, we're working on. I didn't bring my notes. All right, don't worry about that. So, okay, there's no solar because there were some pending solar projects, right, in the pipeline?
The only solar projects that we've got in the pipeline are ones that are.
Let me use the
Queue.
word pipe,
Yeah.
those wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah, right.
Let's use the pipeline more loosely, that I thought you had a hint of or an awareness of.
No, the only thing that we are currently tracking on solar projects is going to be the new application process. So the state has deemed that solar projects were taking too long in front of municipalities. They're creating a consolidated permit.
Yeah.
And I think that may have been the only thing that we were discussing.
Which wouldn't be impacted by her membership. I thought
No.
there was a project that you thought was in the offing.
Not
Okay.
that I'm aware of, no.
All right, then my concern goes away.
Okay. And then there's one question that I have, Jessica, and that is, how much, if any, of your professional work is in town here that might cause you to have to recuse yourself from any discussions that we have? I mean, it's totally a soothsaying forecasting thing to answer
Sure.
that.
I guess just
but-
traditionally.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
wondering if, you know, if you're bringing projects before boards in town on a kind of regular basis.
So I myself am not bringing projects before boards, generally speaking, which is why you've never seen me before your board. I do own a law firm, and members of my firm have brought projects before the town, but not in many years. And a lot of the work that I do is, regular transactional work here in town. A lot of the development work that I've supported has been largely in Bristol County, with some very active clients in that area.
Okay.
That's not to say that it wouldn't ever happen, but I think that in a situation like that, there's a pretty well-established process where I can just disclose the potential conflict and either not participate or whatever
Yeah.
you determine to be the most appropriate action at that time.
We can figure it out at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, so remind me, subdivision requires a supermajority, right?
Correct.
As does solar. So the implication of a member recusing themselves is significant.
For those two types of projects.
Which are the two types of projects that we are most
Right.
engaged
Obviously.
with?
But Jessica is saying that most of her work happens in
No, I'm just-
Bristol County, so it doesn't.
We're in
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, yeah, right, absolutely. Well, that's part of the discussion.
And we need to have an associate for the very reason.
Right.
We're going to take care of that in the fall, right?
Yeah, I believe there was some language already drafted to bring to fall town meeting to change the town charter.
The charter I sent all that stuff. Why do you think the charter, we need to talk that offline. I don't know why you think the charter needs to be changed.
I would say it's not me, it's the members of the appointing authority have taken that position.
Which members?
Not this one.
I think let's,
Oh,
We'll
we
talk-
had, we
let's-
had
we should
direct
talk-
legal advice from town council that said that wasn't true.
Well, we should talk about that separately. That
Separately,
doesn't affect
okay.
Jessica.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so, thank you, Jessica, for joining us.
You're welcome.
And
any other questions?
does
Jessica's
anybody
been
else?
on our bylaw review
Yes.
committee, been very active, so,
So you guys are supporting her.
yes.
Do you have the bylaws memorized, the new ones?
They don't
Oh,
exist yet.
156 pages, she knows. Yes, yes.
Thank you for checking. It's in progress.
All of
Any
us.
questions?
So do we have recommendation to the,
Yeah,
What is-
we have to vote on we technically already
Already
No.
voted.
already
Oh,
made
no,
a
no.
recommendation.
Well,
we
we
can-
need to probably.
We can do
read
it, we'll do it
Do it
again
again.
now that we have had this conversation.
Yes.
And,
Well, because it's now been it has been posted,
yes,
and so we've followed the procedure.
so I would
Allow us
accept
to.
a motion.
Motion to recommend to the appointing authority that Jessica be appointed to the
Second.
committee board.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
And Jane Gleason, aye. 400. We will send that recommendation to the appointing authority, and Jessica, you'll be informed when the appointing authority has set up a meeting to.
And given how rapidly that happens, this may not be an issue. She could be on
Right. Well,
Conservation
there's
Commission for
that.
years.
However, apparently, Concom or ZBA has one or two openings, so that there, or was it capital,
Somebody said they have a meeting,
some
do they?
board or committee has two openings, so there are three positions that need to be voted. So I think the chances that the appointing authority gets together sooner than later is improved.
Yeah, I think the appointing authority is the finance committee as well.
Okay, and maybe it's FinCom that had
Yeah.
two openings. It was one board with two
Yeah,
openings.
I believe
Jerry was off at June 30th.
the planning board
Okay.
and the FinCom are the only boards that are appointed by the appointing authority.
Oh, okay, okay.
ZBA is just the select board.
How about capital? No, it's
Oh, and that
something.
was one of the things that I submitted to the correction for the bylaws. because the current bylaws don't say that.
You're right. That's correct.
That's
Right,
not
there
what
was
we,
There was a conflict.
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
Discussion of fees.
Discussion of fees.
I
yes.
move that we double the recommendation that
Thank you.
Josh
Thank you,
made
Jen.
and
Thank you, Jen.
implement it.
What did you vote?
I recommend that we double all the numbers on Josh's schedule
And
and
the
move
proposed
forward.
numbers?
Yes.
So I have a question, though, about the idea of basing the, well, we're trying, well, no, we're not entirely trying to get away from that. Basing the fee on the number of sheets in the drawing set?
Yeah. That
And
seems to be standard practice across municipalities.
It's a funny, currency, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because it means that you're
Well, the assumption is
encouraging the
there's,
developer to jam as much information onto one sheet
Onto a single sheet.
as
Sure.
possible, and it's sometimes.
but there are guidelines about what the scale has to
Yeah,
be.
that's right.
So.
I'm not, I
that-
understand
well,
your question.
That's fine about the scale, but I mean, if you want me to put landscape and site utilities and the site layout and the building layout and everything on one sheet, just so I save
it's
some
just for
money.
But the
A&Rs
point,
though.
I
Well,
think the
yeah.
idea is
It's only A&Rs.
correlation between number of sheets and complexity. It's an
No, I
analog
t-
for
I totally,
complexity. Well,
I
is there a
totally
better
appreciate it. I
analog?
mean, I've told people that
I
you
think
can.
Julie's on the right track on this one. It's only for A&Rs, so you're not looking at landscaping and lighting
Okay,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
utilities.
Yeah.
It's really just for lot creation.
That's
or-
true.
I move that we
combination.
don't approve any A&Rs until we reconcile the open issues.
So, George,
I don't know that you can take that as a vote.
The other question,
That was a
Jane-
good effort.
Yeah.
Jane had raised a question about these, like, the somewhat comparable communities.
Yeah.
You know, do you
Yeah, I
have
c-
any feeling of how many
How many
applications
projects
they
they
process
field
versus
in a
us?
year?
I didn't look into, no, my analysis on other communities was just, are they closer to us
Yeah, population.
regionally?
Yeah.
Or do they, compare to us population-wise?
Yeah.
And then some of them like us, like Situate and Yarmouth, Marshfield, where they have some type of coastal aspect associated with them,
Yeah.
and they see some type of seasonal growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those seem more aligned with us
Us
and our
than-
dollar intake for fees
Right.
is pretty commensurate and maybe even a little, no, I think it's commensurate with, like, Marshfield, it's right on track.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
number of applications, I think our
The number of
community,
applications is,
our community is ripe for development because of the amount of open space we have.
right,
Right,
right.
exactly.
And so I think we may be fielding more applications than some of these other communities.
That could be true.
And so, Josh, looking at your proposed, and I'm not offended by any of it,
No,
but did you find that you had outliers? That
Well-
these were somewhat consistent?
I-
And then there
I-
were some that were obviously outliers?
What I proposed was probably right in line or maybe a little higher than the other communities that I evaluated.
Okay.
And then the outliers I found were just, I can't believe this community
ridiculous
charges
how
that.
they get away with it.
And, or the only explanation was they charge so much in the application process that they're trying to drive business away.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's what I could see with a couple of these communities.
yeah, yeah.
Or they have an on-site engineer who does the work of A&M. I don't know.
Yes,
So you're
Oh,
paying
so
for
so
that.
they're not doing 53Gs.
So you're not doing 53G?
maybe. I think a couple of the communities that I looked at, there's no way that town is paying an engineer. I
Okay,
can guarantee you that.
okay.
But they still seem to be very high in some of their.
Yeah, sure, sure.
How long has it been since these rates were established? It's
Yeah,
a long
that was my
time.
other question, too.
Your fees?
Yeah.
How long have
Who
they been in
last
place?
It must have been early 2020s, I think.
Maybe.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
so that's
It was-
not that
I
long.
don't
Yeah, it
remember
was,
taking
it
this
was
up.
prior to
before.
me.
So
Well, for
pre-COVID.
sure, prior to
Me being on the
me.
board.
Pre-COVID.
We never had a
I
session
don't
on the
remember
board.
ever talking about it.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
Do these have to be approved by the select board? I think so.
I know some town fees do.
Yeah.
These are largely laid out in your rules and regulations. We can kind of iron those details out.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get an idea of where the board felt with,
Which would be a public hearing.
right.
Yeah.
Double them.
No.
Largely what I tried to do was, understanding that, fees are rising, construction costs are increasing immensely.
yeah.
And, our in-department review and, the review through Allen and Majors isn't getting any cheaper either.
Yes.
So I really wanted to try to identify, Form B, Form C, for example, site plan review. These are all items that you guys have Allen and Majors review. So I wanted to make that known to an applicant that, hey, these fees exist, up front.
Yeah.
We
And,
should.
and
Because the issue, I'm hoping we can use this to fund work ahead of 53G accounts, getting a pool of funds that allow us to do design review and other kinds of things before
I know.
we can start a 53G account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. And then, there are,
Or solar, I mean, all the solar consulting we have, all the questions we have, we just have nobody to answer.
and then there are some items we don't charge anything for. Subdivision modifications, I couldn't find
We
that we
absolutely
had
should.
established a
No, I
fee.
think that's fine. I think
Um,
that's good.
Modifications, so I broke that down into two types of modifications, because I think someone modifying a special permit could be as innocent as a homeowner has a special permit from the zoning board of appeals, and, charging $500 for them to change
Lot.
a deck line or something
Yeah, it's
seems a bit
crazy.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
So what I really tried to do with and you'll see under special permit variance short for residential, I didn't change that fee because, I want to keep the fees low for the residents of Wareham.
Yeah.
But largely, all the other fees that I've proposed an increase for are development, things that are happening.
Right.
The other one that I kind of made a big change to was the site plan review fee itself. Historically, we had a set fee of, under 500 square feet building or greater than 500 square feet building. And I've seen a lot of communities transitioning to this per square foot of building.
Makes sense.
With a minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
And I looked at some of the projects that we've done here in Wareham based off of square footage of the building. And like where we had maybe charged $750 for a project, the new fee probably would have been $1,500 or $1,750, somewhere along those lines.
So putting that minimum is really low.
Right. That minimum is still low comparative to maybe other communities.
Yeah.
But this still allows us to kind of recoup some of the costs that could
Yeah.
be associated with very large projects.
So,
And to be clear, this is not going to flow into the general fund.
this is planning board?
Well, so
No.
you got an 83 square foot building at $15 a square foot. Oh, it's 15 cents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the barometers I used was you guys recently approved site plan for 2 contractor bay buildings on Cranberry Highway. Those buildings combined were 14,400 square feet.
Yeah, so it's 8,333 square feet at 15 cents a square foot and $1,250.
Not at a minimum.
Right,
The minimum.
that's
Right.
that's the smallest, and for a,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're paying more than 15 cents a square foot for a building of less than
Right.
8,333 square feet.
Right,
Right.
If you're paying that minimum.
right. But like for that project, we probably charged them $750. If we had done the square foot calculation, they would have paid just over $2,000.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
reasonable.
which is totally
honestly.
reasonable.
Right.
Absolutely. How about, you have modification, major and minor modification, if it's a major modification, wouldn't we want to charge more if it's ultimately determined to be that?
So I think the best way to think about it is the modification that we're charging for, one would be subdivision, right?
Yeah.
And those are likely all major modifications.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
a modification, let's say that it's to a special permit or variance, they're gonna give the office $100 to get in front of you guys to determine if it's minor or major. If it's a major modification, we're gonna handle it as an application.
Okay,
You know, public notice, notification to abutters, and then a decision at the end.
yeah, that makes sense, okay. That's what I wanted to make sure that this, if it's a major, kind of all bets are off,
Right.
yeah, okay.
Right. And that's how we've handled all of your major modifications,
Right.
is they come through with a new application
Yep.
fee. We notify the Wareham Week and the butters and all
Okay.
that.
So these would really be minor modifications, potentially.
Well,
You don't know till you get in front of us.
Yeah, it's the request for modification.
Yeah, that's right, yeah,
And then you guys are making a
making the
determination
decision, yeah,
off of that.
okay.
So if you guys feel comfortable with the fees, it's something, you know, as we bring the bylaw changes forward to town meeting, the rules and regulations are obviously going to have to be, you know, closely behind that.
Yeah,
So with that in mind, if no objection to the fees, we'll include that in a new revision of the rules and regulations.
So,
We don't need to vote, do we?
I was gonna say, is a vote
No.
appropriate, or?
No vote necessary.
Okay.
It will have to go to a public hearing where
There you go.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say, this is not a public
This-
hearing.
This is more just
So-
marching orders, and
Yeah,
I know how to draft the document as we get closer.
okay, all right.
sounds good.
And then I'll just roll right into the next one. So as we've been changing or modifying the bylaw, we've been looking at zoning districts. And there's kind of 3 discussions that are leading out of that. And I guess we could take the easiest one first. You have a planned commercial district that exists in the bylaw but does not exist on the map. So the question becomes, do we want to create it on the map, or do we want to remove it from the bylaw?
Remove
I
it.
can tell you that it was created when AD Makepeace was, their development plans moving forward were planned communities. And this was in preparation for that, and that did not come to fruition. And as far as I can tell, the AD Makepeace has shifted gears dramatically away from those planned developments. And we never created any district for planned commercial, and it was left in there as a placeholder, as far as I can see. So, and according to our consultant, Judy Barrett, you can't do that.
Right. If it doesn't exist on a map, it doesn't
It
exist.
can't be
Right.
in the bylaw, so
So,
it should come out.
and that would be my recommendation.
I don't,
We remove
I
it from
don't
the use table.
see anything coming down the pike that would make sense for us to have that in there.
Okay.
Well, or we have to draw the map. I mean,
Yeah, right, yeah,
Some
right.
action has to
It
occur.
has-
Right.
Right, it has to be in the map
But
to.
it's not worth it. Why
Right.
bother?
If
Yeah.
the thought process behind this was it was largely based on the development of 80 Makepeace, we have confirmation from them that they are no longer moving in that direction.
Yeah,
So I think it makes our position pretty clear.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I support that.
yeah.
Okay. So the R43, we've had, actually, I'm going to go into the village districts one first. We didn't pull anything out of the box. Do I have all the? Okay.
There's 3 village districts plus 2 overlays, right?
Well, there's
Not
There's
overlays.
4 village districts: Wareham Village 1, Wareham Village 2, Onset Village 1, Onset Village 2,
Right.
and then the overlay district of the Wareham Village Reinvestment, or WV1R. So I'm going, Looks like you only got half of my spreadsheet here, but that's fine. I can explain the other half, or maybe I can just pull it up. So what you're looking at is a list of all of the, I'm not going to say parcels, I will say the lots in Wareham Village. So when looking at the two village districts, that being Wareham Village 1 and Onset Village 1, the three major differences from the zoning bylaw perspective are lot size, frontage, and building height. In Wareham Village, the lot the smallest lot size is 7,500, and in Onset Village, the smallest lot size is 5,000. Now, what I've done on this sheet here is these are all the lots by categorized by lot size.
Yeah.
And you'll see that there is a pink column under lot square footage, and then there is a pink column under lot size range. And that pink column is the allowed single-family lot by right. So when you run down that first column all the way down to the bottom of the pink color, you'll see the 14,785. All the lots above that are allowed by right as a single-family lot. On the right-hand side, you'll see that the pink stops at that 5,000 by 9,999. Those would be the allowed lots by right at 5,000 square feet. So when looking,
So that's if, so this is WV1, right?
yes, this is only WV1.
Okay.
So the
recommendation could be that we move down to a lot size of 5,000 square feet.
So the view here is to perhaps change this to the 5,000 square foot lot minimum of OV1.
Right,
Okay.
right. Oh, let me back up. The process that I went through was the thought of combining the village districts into a singular village district.
A Village
Ins-
1 and a Village 2?
Exactly, instead of having Onset Village 1 and Wareham Village 1.
So the difference, as far as I understand, between Village 1 and Village 2 is that Village 1 has commercial and residential. Village 2 has just residential. So that
Right.
you have a nucleus to these villages that is the commercial part, and then it works its way out. It's still dense, but it's only residential in the outer ring of what, Village 2.
Right. And I'm sorry I didn't get this before you guys earlier, but I was really struggling on the best way to present it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that even this is the best way to present it,
Yeah.
but I think this one is explainable.
Well, it seems to
Yeah,
be
sure.
getting the point across.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I'll continue a little more.
Yeah.
But realistically, what I've identified here is if we were to reduce the lot size from 7,500 to 5,000 and a reduction in frontage, which would be 75 to 50 feet, what does that look like as, what people in this district are able to do or what they are hindered by?
Yeah, what
And-
effect would it have?
Right, and we're not going bigger, so there's no impact of someone saying, oh, now I can't do this.
Right.
We're going smaller, so now it's opening up the possibility for someone to do something.
Sure.
And
I think that, I hope that there's an understanding that there are places where density is good in terms of making a place.
so I don't even think we need to get into that conversation because the analysis of reducing the lot size and the frontage of this district really only impacted 2 properties.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It impacted 2 properties to the point where instead of them being 2 lots, they could now be 4 lots. That is
Okay.
what the change of that reduction looks like.
Okay,
Now, from my perspective, I didn't think you guys would have any issue with saying, okay, let's reduce the numbers.
yeah,
The place that I think you guys could have a conversation is building height. So the difference between building height is 35 feet maximum in onset versus 40 feet maximum in Wareham Village. Now, do you?
What was the overlay?
Well, and there, yeah, what was the WV1R or whatever?
It was
Yeah.
higher
So-
than that.
I don't
The
even
new
think we
ones.
need to discuss it.
Okay.
Because really, all
It's-
I was concerned with was combining the village districts to
Yeah,
eliminate the
Yeah,
extra spaces on the use table.
Okay.
The Wareham Village Reinvestment District would still exist as a
as it-
overlay
as it
district.
sits,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
How do we get to 40 feet? I thought that 35 feet was a height that was was sort of determined by fire department accessibility, the ladders that they've got.
So I imagine in Wareham Village,
So it's
with
3
all those
stories.
buildings being right on Main Street, I know the fire department has a ladder truck that has accessibility higher than 40 feet.
Okay,
What I think the thought process might have been was the understanding that these properties are in the flood zone, they are going to need to be elevated, so the
Yeah,
increase
yeah,
in
yeah.
height would have
Would be helpful.
accommodated,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
future development.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that you want to see buildings super high in onset. I mean, we've got a couple that are downtown that are
Yeah.
game changers as far as the character of the village.
Right. I think the counter argument to that is when you guys are looking at a proposal for a building, or the zoning board is looking for a proposal of a building, what is historically the biggest concern that comes out on big structures is you are now going to block the view that I have, right? I think that's the largest argument we hear.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the building is in onset or the buildings, I think maybe the argument is greater in Wareham Village than it is in onset. To say like where, as you have Main Street transition to High Street up on the hill, higher buildings on Main Street kind of impede the view.
Yeah.
Where I don't see that same scenario playing out in onset where you're already kind of on the water
Right.
and some of the taller buildings are, either they already exist or a one-story building would block the view of anyone anyway.
Right. It's so dense.
But that is going to be the argument we hear.
Yeah,
And then I think the other argument we're going to hear is you're getting rid of the name Onset Village, which I assure you we are not.
Yeah,
It is,
no.
Onset Village will still exist as Onset Village.
yeah,
It will just be referred to differently on a zoning map.
yeah.
But I think that's one of the main contentions you need to deal with is
So,
building height.
what about design guidelines?
So if they are recognized in the rules and regs, I think you could map out, you could separate if the idea is to have different design guidelines for the two villages,
Yeah.
I think you could separate the two villages out in the rules and regs.
Rules and regs,
Instead
not
of
in the
having
zoning
them
bylaw.
as a actual
It's a zoning
district.
district, yeah.
Right.
Okay, if we can still do that, because I think that's another place where there would be a bunch of pushback, because the
Yeah.
character of the two villages wants to be distinct.
Yeah, and
It
I
is.
think that's easily addressable in the rules and regs when you get into the design guideline
Okay,
section.
if we can, if
You
we can.
just show a map that
that-
says this is the design guidelines of,
Onset
Onset
Onset, and
versus
this is
Wareham.
Wareham.
As long as we can keep those separate,
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I
Would be
would
very
not want to see
important.
those two get
How do you
conflated.
specify design guidelines if there's not a separate zone?
Do it by streets.
You
Yeah,
could,
do
or
it
you
by
could do it by a reference map.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be its own district. It could be a map that references the area.
Okay, as long as there's a clear way. to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, to.
Because it's really
define-
not zoning, it's not the zoning requirements, it's design guidelines.
Right.
Very different from
Yeah.
frontage, sideline, setback.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And again,
everywhere
they're
else.
guidelines, they're not.
Right.
Well,
we're
then,
not-
okay,
they're not
now,
binding.
does this then raise the question that Linda brought up? That if these are the same zoning district, you can't do what Alan was trying to do with parking. You couldn't have a separate parking thing for
Yeah,
onset.
it's a thing,
But-
yeah.
Would have to apply to downtown as well.
Is that a bad thing?
No, but
Yeah.
we need to understand
In that
cascading.
instance, right, and we have to
cascading-
sort of soothsay what the potential things like what Alan
Yeah.
was trying to do that might come up, and whether they want to be
Onset-
separate.
Definitely, part of it is having gone to the beach last week with the parking. It's the beach access really does create, at least in the summer, a major parking
Yeah,
issue that you don't see in Wareham.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't call out a difference in onset versus Wareham Village in your parking standards.
Yeah, but, no, not now,
Yeah.
but you could, because they're different zoning districts.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not, you can't have different parking.
Right.
I'm only using
Yeah.
the example that came
Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
You'd have a bunch of variances all day long,
Yeah,
yeah.
And you can't have different building height regulations.
right.
Right.
And you can't have different,
So I will say that Judy, once she heard
Understood,
how committed we were to those two villages, Wareham and Onset, having really distinct characters to them, she was like, oh, okay.
see, it's interesting you say that, because I wouldn't have said there's a different character.
oh, I think there is.
I'm
Yeah.
talking
They
about me.
certainly,
too.
Onset certainly
I do
believes
too.
there
I,
is.
Both
well,
look
and I think the small cottage of Onset is very different from the High Street and
Yes,
this,
Main Street.
and
I-
Main Street,
I-
so
I accept that that's,
Yeah.
I just would have said,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have,
wouldn't have
So-
differentiated them, yeah.
I just am not sure that merging the districts is,
Yeah,
I think you are going to get a lot of pushback.
I think it might, politically speaking, be more, negative
Yeah.
than positive.
Which could color the whole discussion about the changes that we
Yeah.
want to make.
Yeah,
I mean, to my mind, this would not be one that my thought is not to make that change.
yeah,
tax rates aren't tied to zoning districts, are they?
no.
I think arguably the only difference between the two zoning districts, if it's not lot size and frontage, would be the building height.
Yeah,
And if I've presented to you that maybe 5 feet isn't such a drastic increase, but you could always push it down in Wareham Village and say anything over 35 feet requires a special permit.
I just feel like
Another-
Wareham
I almost-
development
yeah.
is always going to be different from Onset.
I-
At least what we would look forward to.
Yeah, I guess that,
We call them villages, but
worry
they're
that
very different.
I worry that combining them now might, that while they seem to be pretty darn close,
Yeah?
I think, to Carl's point, I think that combining them takes away the opportunity for them to
Diverge.
diverge.
Yeah.
Yes,
My
thank you for
other
the word.
question was
Yeah.
gonna be, do the use tables map exactly?
Probably not.
So you would
Something
then,
we'd have to look at as
you would
well.
create
Yeah.
use
Right.
changes.
And
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that the people in those two villages would prefer the idea that they have the opportunity in being delineated as distinct
that's right.
to change this without changing that, and maintain that ability,
Yeah.
I think.
I really think that it could really reflect on all the other changes that we want to make.
Yeah.
It could get
I hadn't thought about
sidelined
that. Yeah,
by
yes.
this.
yeah.
because some will see it as really changing the community,
Yeah.
changing the flavor of each, but particularly onset.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I mean, it's your decision, not mine. I think it was an interesting exercise
I
to
think
see.
so too. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
See
so
that
too. And
reducing
to-
lot sizes actually only changes,
Not
out of
much.
96 lots, it had
Really?
an effect on 2.
Yeah, yeah.
that is pretty amazing.
Right.
And it may be future state as we see.
It might, but I think that the ability of those two villages to operate independently, it, goes hand in hand with the water districts and the fire districts,
know.
that they're not gonna come together. So I think that having their own zoning districts is probably gonna be more well-received.
Yeah, yeah.
So, no action on merger of village districts.
I would say no action.
I think
My
after
opinion would
this
be that.
conversation,
Sure.
that's probably correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the other one we've kind of been kicking around is our R43 district, which would be, our R43 is roughly an acre. Based on the zoning map, we have a small area of the R43 off of
Stillman Drive,
Stillman Drive.
Yeah.
That's large, actually entirely all developed.
it's, Peter Cooper, and it's, the Minot Forest, there's a bit of town forest in
Right.
there.
Yeah. And then the other section of the R43 district is in southeastern Wareham onset, and
And if I
Would be a
recall
lot.
correctly, the only property on that was large enough to be subdivided is virtually all marsh.
yeah,
So
it's
it couldn't-
entirely wetland.
Yeah, so it couldn't be touched, really.
So I'm still doing the by lot comparison to see what it would look like if we brought it down to an R30.
Okay.
Or the other way is you go up to an R60.
Right,
Um,
I think going down is the better way to go,
So I have been
given
able
where
to
they're located.
Yeah.
pull like the percentages of how big the lots are in this district already.
Yeah.
So lots that are what's the best way to say this? There are 276 lots within the district.
Yeah.
There are 238 that are at R43 or less. So that means there's 18% of the lots are R30 or above, and then 9% are 60,000 or above.
So big enough that they could be divided into.
Yeah.
Big enough to say that there would be only 9 that would still feel like you didn't change their lot or 9%
Yeah.
that feel like you didn't change their lot at all by going up to an R60.
Okay, okay.
Um,
No, or if you go down to an R30, they're the only lots that could be divided.
If you were to go down to an R30, the difference there is you have 200 lots that are 30,000 or below. So then basically what that's saying is that there's 11% of the lots in that district that would then say, hey, you've given me more opportunity.
Yeah, well,
Because now or
and,
potentially more opportunity,
Yeah.
because the only thing we're looking at is lot size.
right, well, and until you get to 60,000, you can't divide them into 2 lots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So if we went down to R30, then you're right. That additional 9%, they, based off of lot size,
Yeah.
may be able to subdivide.
Only 9% would be
Right.
able to subdivide.
And what I found was in the exercise I went through with Wareham Village was there were, let's say, 10 lots that were able to subdivide off of lot size when we reduced it, but then didn't meet the frontage requirement that then allowed them not to be subdivided ultimately.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would like to do that analysis of the R43
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
Because again, we might get to a point where, yeah, we've opened up 11% of the lots that can now be divided in two if they're 60,000, but do they have the required frontage?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I didn't realize, this is obviously had a discussion somewhere else. We're trying to increase density.
No, we're trying to, so,
Where was this discussion and all, it seems like it's a well-developed,
well, we've had this discussion with Judy Barrett.
Judy Barrett.
At the,
but that's really beyond the
So-
remit of rewriting the zoning bylaws, isn't it?
she had a reaction to
She
our
felt we
zoning
had-
map.
All right, but there's a whole lot of directional stuff being established that I'm not aware of.
Okay.
That wasn't presented when she made her presentation. She's avoided coming and making presentations here, so we've never had a discussion on it. So at least I know the history. Okay,
Yeah.
No,
it's all coming out of that.
I think honestly where this all has been developed from is there was concern that the amount of districts within Wareham exceeded a lot of other communities.
She had a
And-
reaction to the number of
By a
districts that
lot.
we had.
Right,
Yeah.
and could cause confusion. I mean, the outdated zoning map didn't help the confusion at all either. But, in those discussions, it was a question of, is there a place that we can reduce the use table to make that more clear? Right, because ultimately this is an attempt to make development in Wareham a smoother process.
That's fine, but it sounded to me like the discussion here was, how do we increase density? The whole discussion that I heard was, oh, yes, that means we can increase density.
Yeah, no, that,
We could,
This
now we
is-
could
well,
subdivide
this is
these
kind
lots.
of the
Now we
out-
can subdivide these lots.
this is the outcome of the
Right,
discussion.
I think
But
it's.
it was really about, we have a lot of districts. Is there a way to consolidate them?
Yeah.
And I think we'd rather frame the
Help the use
discussion in
table.
this is what we're allowing people to do instead of this is what we don't want people to do.
Yeah,
Which
I'm
I
sorry,
should
that's
do-
probably my fault that I said some words that, about density.
Okay, but I agree that Judy did say we should move till that philosophy, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's right.
still of the mindset we need to protect the community and not talk about,
Right.
without thinking through it.
No, I think this is a good conversation. It's
Yeah.
definitely created a lot of thought on it, right? I went through a whole.
All of you guys
exercise.
live in a very not dense area. I live in a very densely populated area, and there's a whole different set of feeling.
Well, there's no intent to change where you are.
Well, the ADUs are gonna change it dramatically.
Well, in this discussion,
We had
there's
no-
we don't
We
have.
had no
we don't have a-
say on ADUs.
I understand that, but I'm just saying the nature and character of the town is going to change. There are now YouTube advertisers targeting Wareham with, "We will build ADUs for you and it will be great."
I know.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
They still have to meet all of
Many
the
towns are
not-
building.
That's
building
not what
allowed.
I understand that, but that's not what they're telling people.
Well, they're also not telling them how much it costs to build it too.
Particularly if they have a private septic system
Yes.
and they're adding.
By the way, you have to add septic.
Maura's not gonna have ADUs built next to her house, so.
Who's that?
Maura.
Yes.
Oh, don't get me going,
Or a
Carl.
solar farm, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yes.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I understand your concern, and I think whenever you look at reducing lot size is the ultimate, that ultimately leads directly into smaller lot sizes means more lots.
Right.
But from what we've seen from Wareham Village, I looked at almost 100 lots, and only 2 of them benefited from.
No, I understand that, but
Subdivision.
my question, I'm okay with everything we're doing. The question is, why are we doing it? If we're doing it to increase density, that means
That's
one
not
thing.
the-
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
know.
If we're doing it to rationalize the zoning plan
That's the answer.
and to help people understand what they can do, not
Yeah.
what they can't do,
Right.
Yeah.
different objective
Yeah,
and different marketing plan.
no, right.
Totally fair.
Yeah, and we have not had conversations about density. That's just not
No, and that,
Then
shame on me for
the discussion.
Well,
using
no, there's nothing wrong with shame on you
Yeah.
and say, because if
But
that's what you
you're
believe,
talking
then
about
let's
what could
get
be
it
the
out
effect.
there
Yes.
and debate
That's right.
whether that's a good thing for the town or
Because-
not.
I guess
It
what
will
I'm
be
saying that
raised.
in the process of simplifying the zoning bylaw,
Right.
if we change
Excuse me.
10 lots that are subdividable to 30,000 square foot lots from 43, that's not the end of the world. But, I mean, there's more to it than that.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of the world for the neighbor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are a number of outcomes that could
43,000
happen.
square foot or a 30,000 square foot lot. Is that really gonna be a,
If you could put another house in there, it might.
Yes.
maybe?
Yeah. For sure.
But I have looked at where the R43 is located, and
Well, and the other argument to this is, if they have, let's say, a 60,000 square foot lot, and they want to subdivide it to have one conforming lot at 43,000 square feet, and they want to subdivide into a 17,000 square foot lot, there's nothing stopping them from going to the zoning board and saying, hey, I have a 17,000 square foot lot, can you give me relief to build a structure on this?
yeah,
The relief exists, it's
right.
just, do people want to go through,
I think the time that I actually talked about density was in the villages, which is where that is, as far as I understand, there's stated intent to have those be dense. That's what makes them vibrant.
right,
Yeah.
the walkable community idea,
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
where the village districts were established from.
And not necessarily looking to increase density elsewhere in town, but the villages.
I was merely saying, is that an objective? And that should be
No,
stated
it's
in
not.
the
That
master
was
plan.
that was really, in my, it was
Yeah,
just
it's-
something that I was weighing
Yeah,
when
we
I was
haven't talked
thinking
about the
about it.
master plan, but that's kind of language that needs to be in the master plan as to what are our goals
Yeah.
for the community?
And we actually talked about that in the zoning. You know, are we aligned with the master plan? And the thought was, the master plan is outdated.
The master plan
Yeah.
is a huge set of do everything for anybody and everybody kind of
Yeah.
make,
Yeah,
I mean, it was like, let's do everything for
I
anybody.
know, I know.
I mean, if you read it that way,
Yeah.
it's sort of,
Yeah.
and so please, if, I was merely challenging did we establish an objective somewhere that I wasn't aware of?
No, that
The,
was
the
not.
only objective that that we were reacting to was Judy Barrett's reaction to the number of districts in town.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
looking at the existing zoning districts and the map and seeing if there were any districts that we could either consolidate or get rid of, which is why we got rid of the CP, because it's not being used, and
But
that's
I
actually
think
illegal.
historically, we've tried to use, even though you're not allowed to do spot zoning, I think we've tried to solve problems with spot zoning and
Yes.
calling it a zoning district.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, maybe some of the overlay districts
Mm-hmm.
or,
yeah. And again, she's trying to make it
Trying
more
to-
user-friendly,
yeah.
make it
simplify
streamlined, and particularly the use table, she said, you've got so many columns, like trying to
Yeah.
really make it more manageable, and that's really where that sprung from.
Well, the other piece of that conversation with her was, I pointed out that the geography of Wareham it sort of begs for that complicated
Yeah.
and many
Yeah.
districts and.
Right.
Yeah, zoning a coastal
of
portion of
all
the
the-
community, the same way you zone Fearing Hill.
All the water bodies that come into town
Yeah.
make it very little pockets.
That's right.
That you can't simplify that.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but
You can, but
the
it's, how
consequences of that.
effective is it? You
Right,
know,
well,
how-
yeah, I was gonna say, the consequences.
Are not
That's right.
necessarily good.
No,
I mean, I think that the lot of zoning districts came from reacting to the specific geography and nature of Wareham.
But
Yeah.
I think she's also cognizantly aware, historically zoning was used to exclude peoples and hem peoples in.
Yeah.
That's not what we're trying to do.
No, we're
No,
trying,
sure.
I think we're trying to do the opposite.
Right, but I'm just saying the history of zoning is
Correct.
flawed.
It's exclusionary.
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
Right, and we're trying to take something that has historically been exclusionary and make it inclusionary.
Well, maybe not so much in Wareham, but certainly in other parts
Oh,
of the
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole redlining and all that.
yeah,
other-
right, and we don't,
We don't wanna do
no,
any of that.
we, yeah.
No, I agree. I'm getting it out there. Zoning has a really troubled history.
Yes.
Well, and it has a tough charge. It's a tough challenge.
Yeah.
But we can have piggeries on Main Street.
There's your next challenge, to
No
open a
hay
piggery
bales.
on Main Street.
No hay bales. We eliminated hay bales.
So I think coming out of this discussion,
We're gonna get rid of
CP can be
CP.
dissolved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't touch the village districts. And would we benefit from me continuing the analysis of the R43 just to see what that looks like? Lot size versus frontage, to see how many lots are actually affected, or
I think it might be, because in yours and my quick look at the map and where those R43 districts are, if we can eliminate R43 as a district, either up or down,
Yep.
based on further conversation and your analysis that you can get through, I think that would be beneficial to
Yeah,
this
agreed.
concept of simplifying the zoning bylaws.
Which I fully support.
And I think that the R43 districts are so limited as it is right now that the impact may be small enough. I mean, we need to weigh that still based
Do you
on your
remember why
analysis.
they were created? It's a very
I think we were-
unusual size.
Yeah.
Well, it's an acre.
Yeah, but there aren't, I know, well, we never had an R43 in the last town I lived in. I mean,
It's an acre.
it was 5,000, 15,000, 30,000.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
always
no,
multiples
I think
of
it was
five.
to get an acre zoning in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Interesting.
so I will forever be upset on who decided the color scheme of this map. But like this is one section of the R43 here.
Where
That's-
is that?
This is
That's Peter
Stillman
Cooper's
Drive.
And Peter
uh,
Cooper,
Oh,
Peter
sorry,
Cooper.
Peter Cooper.
yeah.
And then Forest Way. And then
So
this one
Forest Street
is,
in
yep,
there. And then
It's
the
crazy.
block in the middle is town forest.
right.
Right.
So whether we went up or down in this district has no effect on these lots.
They're not gonna subdivide those lots.
They can't. It would be impossible.
Most of them have a house in the middle of them.
House in the middle, and then they would lack frontage
Yeah.
to create a second lot.
They're not gonna do the town forest.
Right.
And
So,
Forest View, maybe at some point down the road, but not in the next decade or
Right.
two.
Right.
no. Yeah, I don't see it happening. And then, so that's your one R43 district. And then the other one is on it's this section of, East Onset, if you will. And when Jane and I had looked at, lots that were big enough and maybe had enough frontage,
That was
it's
one of them.
entirely wetland to the point where it probably wouldn't be subdividable anyway
Sure.
when you get down to lot size. But,
So
sorry.
Josh will do some analysis of that site,
Right.
that
Area.
area and determine, how much of that could be subdividable.
right. Where it definitely appears that a lot of these lots have probably the square footage, they likely lack frontage.
Okay.
Well, and those long, narrow lots from a road down to the water,
Right.
Right.
that's difficult to,
Right. Especially when you consider, and I think I can put on. Yeah, I can't do it in this one. We could look at where the actual houses sit on the lot as well.
yeah.
but, you know, they're right in the middle of a lot on some of these, so.
But you could take that whole grouping of lots, put them together and completely redesign it and subdivide it with a subdivision.
If you owned a number of them,
Sure.
That's what I meant. No, a
Right.
developer could come in and buy that whole,
Right.
I don't know the people, so,
yeah.
Well, I think the chances of a number of waterfront properties like that coming
Not
to
for sale.
all at once
I-
is slim to none.
Walt Disney pulled it off.
No, that's one person,
That was swamp.
yeah.
But he did it very
I know.
smart. Nobody knew what he was doing, so I'm just saying somebody could come in. But anyway, that would, those opportunities exist. You're looking at lot structures
Super
as they exist today, not what could be done with a large area of land that, where the lots were joined and A&R'd.
Well, and would 30,000 square foot lots be the end of the world there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, then reconsider your cluster subdivision, or your cluster division bylaw as well,
Which I think we should do, but there's a lot we should do.
right?
That means taking a step back and saying, what do we really see going on for the town?
Well, that's where the sort of next steps happen after. It seems to me that this zoning rewrite that's happening right now is total housekeeping.
Well,
And it
make
covers the
make
whole
it
thing.
operational. I mean,
Yes,
it's-
No. And I think that the substantive operational one has to happen in
well, I just meant, we can't work with the way it is now. We
That's
have to,
right.
we have to
No, yeah.
restructure it so it can actually
Correct.
function, even with all the things
Yeah.
we would like to change.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, that's the first step.
Yeah.
So I'll continue the analysis on the R43 district
Okay.
and come back with something there.
So much for our nothing agenda, right?
Well, it's a
It's all
good
good stuff.
opportunity for you
It's all
guys to
good
deal with, you know, matters that aren't applications.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Because so rarely do you get this opportunity.
Absolutely,
Boy, I'll say.
absolutely. So, not on the agenda is a discussion about our next meeting in July, which would be scheduled for
28th,
27.
27.
27th.
27th.
So for me, I'm going to be camping, so
Well, we have no projects before us, so.
I
I'd be
thought
going,
we-
I'd
I
be
thought we
communicating
continued
remotely,
something to the
participate remotely.
27th.
I'm going to be in the western part of the state.
I don't know that I don't have anything written on the
Okay,
I didn't
I-
even bring it with me, the
Again,
calendar.
my brain is
Um,
suspect. so.
I don't know that we did,
I'll take a look at,
Traditionally, boards
we can
have
comb
taken
through.
summer off.
What's that?
Traditionally, in the past, boards have taken summers off. We're down to one meeting a month. That was very common for selectmen, FinCom. It got difficult with vacation schedules.
Yeah,
Taking one off is not abnormal.
so, that's what we're
I move that we
thinking.
don't meet on the 27th.
Second,
All in favor? I'm not even taking discussion. All in favor?
Carl.
I won't be here, so
Aye.
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 Okay.
I won't be here, Jessica won't be here, we won't have a full board anyway.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So our next meeting will be on August 10th.
10?
Yes.
And so I won't be here the 24th. And
August 24th?
I will not be here August 24th,
Okay.
and I won't be back until September 12th.
24th, I'll be
we
participating
meet on the 14th.
remotely.
So, yeah, we meet the
September.
14th.
So
Yeah.
I'll be back
Right.
for that.
Okay, so no Carl on the 20th.
Are you Zoom or no?
I will be in Scotland, so
Good
probably
for
not. I will be not only in Scotland, I'm going to be in the Highlands where they haven't invented like
Anything.
Yeah, that's
electricity.
right, yeah, right.
Fire.
Been there, done that, you're right,
They haven't
Yes.
invented fire yet.
yes.
Good trout fishing there.
Yes, there is. I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to do that.
Beautiful country, though.
My family's from there.
I'm trying to time it so I miss mid-season,
Yeah.
Oh.
but I think I'm catching the tail end of it, so.
Good quail hunting there, too. Motion adjourned.
And I'm surprised there wasn't another application for the
can't
board
second.
member, because I thought
What?
the person that raised
I can't second,
the
Kevin.
concern wanted to
So.
apply.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I need a second from somebody.
Second.
There we go. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, aye, aye.